The Wolverine Sports Network is on the air.
He's going to keep the football. Drive for the goal line. It's a touchdown! The Wolverines have won it on the final play of the game. Touchdown East. A Wolverine walk-off winner.
Ostrowski, the righty, winds and deals. Strike three! It's a perfect game! Tate Ostrowski has thrown a perfect game for the Wolverines.
Piper back to throw. Has time. Looking for the end zone. And what is it called? Touchdown! It is a touchdown for the Wolverines with 7 seconds to play.
Grove City has won the President's Athletic Conference Championship. Grove City wins the PAC. The Cinderella story is alive.
Piper takes the snap. Looking to throw. Fires downfield. Frazier made the catch and scored the touchdown to win it for the Wolverines.
This afternoon on the Wolverine Sports Network, the Grove City College football team begins the 2025 season. It's a matchup of top 25 teams as the Wolverines are on the road at number 10 Cortland. Kickoff coming up at high noon. But first, it's time once again for the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverine Sports Network. And for the second straight year, we are proud to report that the Andrew DiDonato Show is brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash on North Center Street in Grove City. Hi, everybody. Ryan Briggs here, along with head coach Andrew DiDonato, entering year number 10 at the helm. Coach, time flies when you're having fun, but welcome back. Great to be with you here as we kick off another season.
Wow, double-digit years with you, Briggsy. It's been special and hard to believe. Not year number 10, but excited to begin this year number 10 with you.
We'll have to count how many episodes we've done of this.
Yeah. But
we're going to hit triple digits at some point this season, certainly. Yep. The Grove City College football team, Coach, last year, a piece of the conference title, 9-2 overall, falling in the second round of the playoffs to Johns Hopkins, who went all the way to the national semifinals. Did you get a chance before turning the page to 2025 to reflect on 2024 and all the good things and a couple of the hiccups here and there? Were you able to take time and soak it all in and kind of enjoy that, as well as the 2-year run?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. After the season, you go through a lot, but got to enjoy just reflecting upon that senior class and all they accomplished. I mean, so special what we've experienced the last 2 years. So, there's so many positives. And, then we did look hard at Johns Hopkins because it's, we have now 3 NCAA playoff games to evaluate. And to be honest, it's why we're playing these 2 games we are to start this season, is we just feel we learned so much from those games. We just need more of them. And what I mean by those games, I mean games against top 20 opponents, top 25. And so it was great. It was great going through spring ball and the season, thinking about any adjustments we need to make. And, now with some new faces, some returning faces to go out and see where we're at against another top 10 opponent.
And you mentioned new faces, and there's certainly plenty on offense. We'll talk about that in our next segment. But starting on defense, fortunately, the Wolverines have a lot of familiar faces. 8 starters back, a number of other guys that were part-timers or would be considered returning letter winners. Certainly, in a time where you're very young on offense, to have an experienced and talented defense, a defense that led the country in turnover margin, was among the national leaders in rushing yardage allowed, yards per carry allowed. That certainly makes for a very strong foundation.
It does. I look at 6 straight 8 or more win seasons, 6 straight postseason seasons, and in each one of those years started with some new faces, but confidence in some very important pieces returning. And this year it's no different, and those pieces are mainly on defense, starting with the linebacking core and Ben Bladels, where it all starts, the multi-year All-American. Everyone knows Ben, who watches Grove City football and been around it. He kind of makes us go. And then next to him, Jack Jolly and Caleb Brubaker. I mean, to have those 3 back, those 3 linebackers from a top 10 defense, and many other guys I'm sure we're going to talk about. But, that's our starting point is the linebacking core, and they're certainly the anchor and heartbeat of our defense and our team, really, as we begin 2025.
Jack Jolly, second year as a team captain. Caleb Brubaker, the other defensive captain, if you will. Not that it's necessarily broken down offense and defense, but having those two captains and a two-time All-American, they allow you to do a lot of different things.
They do, and because of their versatility, I mean, they can cover in the pass as well as a defensive back, and we were a top 10 rush defense in the country because of how physical they are, along with every our D-line, our safeties coming down. And it's mentioned in D-line there, Jordan Karcheski's back. He's anchoring our defensive line unit. A lot of games and big games under his belt, and many guys competing there with him. Caleb Cole, Dave Cower. We got even some freshmen mixing in, getting some time there. Kellen Taylor's one to note, who you'll see, in the starting lineup. So, that's the D-line to complete the box with that very decorated linebacking core.
With Kellen Taylor, the freshman from Penn Trafford, penciled in as a starting nose tackle. Ryan Principe, converted offensive lineman, the backup, the sophomore at nose tackle, then the other two that you mentioned at end in Cower and Cool. Those guys, how's that defensive line coming together? Again, the way the defense is played, I mean, their job necessarily isn't to make the play per se. It's to free up the linebackers and so forth. But how are those guys coming along?
Doing well. And biggest thing is when you have models like Bryce Spoldick, for example, at D-end, we're able to look at, okay, this is a D-end that how you need to play to win a Pac title or to play in the national playoffs, that you see Dave Cower and Caleb Cole have that model. And then what's cool is to see their progression, that by the time we get to this point, we're saying, hey, we're seeing a lot of similar things we saw from Bryce. So that's been the exciting part, is definitely seeing their progression. And it helps when you have a model like Jordan Karcheski where you can mimic him every single day.
The secondary, a lot of familiar names back, starting on the outside. In effect, 3 starting cornerbacks, one in each of the upper 3 classes. Bowden Davidson, who has had a position tweak, if we will. Dominic Danino, and then Noah Wheeler. With the way that so many teams throw the ball these days, you have to have more than 2 corners, and the Wolverines certainly seem to have a pretty stocked secondary.
Well, yeah, and what's nice if you watch us play, a lot of times we play our safety position like a corner, and what I mean by that is just the type of coverages we play, that a lot of the skill sets that are required at corner translate well into, a safety position like where Jason Minch played last year. That's like a hybrid between, a lot of safety duties, but a lot of coverage responsibilities similar to what a corner does. And Bowden can slide right into that, frees Noah Wheeler and Dom to stay at corner. And, there have been years where we're trying to figure out where we're going to get a second corner. Here we have more than 2 corners, and we're saying, how do we get them on the field? This is the position I like to be in, and fortunately with those 3, we've been in that luxury, being in that position, which I consider luxury, to be able to have that versatility and get them all on the field together.
And Bowden Davidson, a 3-year letter winner, both in football and lacrosse, and maybe not as big as a Jason Minch, but watch him on the lacrosse field, of course, on the football field. He plays a lot bigger than what the height and weight says on the paper.
He does. And one of the biggest things about that position, which how much offenses, especially top offenses, how much speed they put on the field. You won 3 corners, and he gives us that ability. But he's also, he's played. What we do with our corners sometimes on heavier offensive packages, they got to come down and stop the run, and he's done that effectively in his first 2 years. So, that's why we're really excited about him and him playing that safety position, along, Ryan Montgomery, a returning vet who also is as healthy as he's ever been. So it's been exciting to see him flying around. And then Mason Klaus, Keegan Frazier, again, it's great when you've had position battles all camp, and it's because both guys are doing so well. And that's the I don't want to use the word problem we've been in. It's like we don't know which one to go with because they've both been doing so well. Yeah. So those are 2 other guys to note who are going to be there with Ryan and Bowden just to complete that defensive unit.
And sometimes those safety positions can be interchangeable, right?
They
Depending on
be.
formations and coverage and so forth.
There's ways to get more of them onto the field. And the other huge thing is those, safety linebacker positions are where you need on special teams. The reason we have such good special teams units is you think about guys in the past of Cole DeFilippo, Seth Rosenberry. I'm thinking about guys that were maybe the second group linebacker or safety at the time that were top elite special teams performers. Well, same thing, Mason Klaus, Keegan Frazier. If they're not on the field every snap defensively, well, they're going to be on there on special teams. Same thing when you think about Danny Franco, for example. He's ready to start at linebacker right now, no doubt. Well, it just so happens that we have 3 really good ones in front of them. Well, you're going to see him flying around on all our special teams. So, that's the beauty of having the depth that we have, and that's the depth you have to have if you're going to compete with number 10 in the country.
And the Wolverines taking on number 10 in the country, the Cortland Red Dragons, of course, the 2023 national champions. Cortland also made a deep playoff run last year, and we'll talk more about Cortland later on in today's show. Coach and I are going to take a break. When we come back, we'll talk about the Grove City offense, a lot of new faces and some new faces in new places on the Wolverine offense. Special teams, kind of in the middle. We have some familiar guys and then some new guys working their way in as well. All that and much, much more. You're listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. We'll check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known, no appointment necessary. Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Ken Frenchak here at the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Experience. We're all about experience. The experience of our expert quick lube techs, and also the experience we provide you with every oil change. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come here to the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City for the experience. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. The Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Welcome back to the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverine Sports Network. The Andrew DiDonato Show, as always, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City, located on North Center Street in Grove City Borough. Ryan Briggs here along with head coach Andrew DiDonato. Coach, the Grove City offense, the last handful of years, from week to week, the two deep did not change much. It was Scott Frazier, it was Logan Pfeiffer, it was Nico Flatty, it was Robert Tamburino, Brady Brungard, on and on and on. Well, with college football coming to college, you get a cap and gown after 4 years. Or in a couple guys' cases, they used the fifth year. But certainly a lot of turnover on offense. But how's the offense coming along with all these new guys we're going to talk about?
Yeah, fortunately, although we did lose a lot, we did have a lot of experience. We did have more experience returning, I should say, than most people would think. Starting up front, Luke Jolly, a multi-year starter at tackle, he anchors us. Nate Traynor started a number of games throughout his career, and he was out there. Westminster, we put together a very great football game. He played excellent. Obviously, he's played in the national playoffs. You see positive things, him doing against Johns Hopkins. He's back. Bobby Benton started multiple games last year. He started in our pro package, which is our sixth lineman. He started in some big games as well in the traditional starting five. So you really do have 3 returning experienced linemen in there amidst what would look like a young group, because we did lose so many to graduation. But what's unique for us, people that watch us know, we use way more than 5 linemen in a football game. So your number 6 and 7 are playing a lot of football. Anthony Burnett started the last several years. I mean, we had 2 touchdowns against Susquehanna in 2023, his sophomore year, that he made 2 of the most unbelievable blocks I've ever seen to spring Clayton Parrish for touchdowns. So again, you actually, when you think then, there's 4 guys who are experienced in your run game returning. And then you couple in, what we've been really good is when we've graduated great line classes is have a freshman rising sophomore class that's ready to go. And we do. I mean, Gabe Hilty, Jed Feldmeyer, Zeke Swift. I mean, a lot of just, big, good offensive linemen that are making that Tyler Francis freshman to sophomore jump. And they've done it. We've had to grow throughout camp, but we have that freshman to sophomore group that's going to contribute. Matt Givens, a freshman as well. So some experience across that front. And then I'll just say, since I already talked fullbacks, Dustin Hoddle, Lucas Sloman. We moved Dustin Hoddle's a linebacker ready to play at linebacker, but there's nowhere to play at linebacker right now. We moved him over to fullback. So really excited. That's just a number of names to mention. There's more as well. that have really helped put together an offensive line and fullback unit we're excited about.
And you mentioned the freshman Matt Gibbons. He was something that we don't have a whole lot at our level, but an early enrollee in the spring, correct?
Yep. And you know, you're starting to see more of that, just the way guys are able to take credits and different things that, you know, they're able to get into college classes sooner, and that was a really neat thing that he was able to do. And and I think, again, we're big up front. You know, that's the one thing about Grove City is we do have the size, and you know, now it's just getting a group that can gel together. I think that's the biggest thing we've been trying to find, is just getting guys playing together, and that's why we practice, and we've been working at it.
Of course, when it comes to football, if you have nothing else to talk about, let's say talk about the quarterback.
Yep.
Well, this year coming in, there was a quarterback derby. You know, multiple men, 2-3 guys vying for it. Ultimately, it's kind of come down to the guys that were the top 2 backups last year. Ethan Wiley, one of the senior captains, along with Anthony Brunette on offense, and Sutton Ellis, the junior. I understand it's been a tight camp for good reason, because of the different strengths of each man, right?
It has, and you know, you mentioned the captains earlier. You know, Jack Jolly, Caleb Brubaker, defensively. We don't say defense, offense, but yes. And then Anthony Burnett and Ethan Wiley, you know, both on offense. I can't say enough about just the type of leader and person Ethan is. You know, that's what. Man, I mean, knows everything in our offense, that's one thing, but everything we stand for as a program, faith at the forefront of everything that we do. His leadership has been unbelievable, and specifically in that quarterback group. I mean, he said right away, he said, this is going to be a competitive battle, and we're just here to all support each other. Like, how awesome is that?
Right.
So very comfortable with him, and then you know, clearly, if you look at our 2 deep, Sutton Ellis, you know, listed on the top right now, and you know, just done an amazing job. It's been exciting because we have a clear identity, and these guys both played behind Logan Pfeiffer, and it is hard for me to stump them right now. When I try to throw some hard looks, because we don't know what Cortland's going to do, so we're throwing everything they could possibly do, and these guys know what to do, know what to get us in, know where to go with the ball. Just so excited with you know, the ability that, you know, we had a 4-year starter and a 3-year starter, 6 straight 8 or more win seasons. Our quarterbacks have been winners and leading our teams to special things. And, you know, I'm very excited with how that's going to continue now with this group.
So with Sutton Ellis getting the start, what are some things we can expect to see from Sutton?
Yeah, you know, a very great arm. He really does. You know, anyone who watches us knows we make some challenging throws on the field. What I mean by that, we like to push the ball down the field, and you know, he's able to make all of those throws. You know, if you saw him get in, I think about when he got in, you know, last year against St. Vincent, had a very nice run, sprung a run deep. So he's able to run the football very effectively as well, along with making all the throws in the Grove City offense. I think that's the biggest thing, is, you know, you're going to see you know, a lot of the exciting things we've done in the past game continue, and I think he brings in, you know, like he showed in the time he got last year, an ability to run the ball with it, and I think those are 2 things to highlight.
Speaking of running the ball, Ian DeMary is back. You know, he's been the number 2 the last couple of years. Had a huge flourish last year at the end of the regular season against Westminster. That 88-yard run, had a huge day against a really good Westminster defense. He's back. Chase Rankin, a junior, Eli Jones, a senior, and I know there's some newcomers as well, really battling in that running back spot, a spot in which 2 or 3 guys are getting regular use.
Yeah, we've really worked to get back to our 2023 model. For those who've watched us in 2023, you'd see Clayton Parrish out there, then Nico Flatty out there, then Joey Guida out there. And we really had a system to utilize 3, where last year we went to what we would view as a 2-back system with Nico Flatty and Ian DeMary. So obviously Ian being back, he's the starting point. But what we've got back to, starting with Ian, is really looking to get back to a 3-back model. So you're going to see Shepard Miller. He's a freshman running back that's done a lot of good times, a lot of good things, that he's going to get some carries, and we're excited for him. Chase Rankin, you know, a junior who's been in the system that, you know, does a lot of positive things as well. And, you know, those 3 are 3 guys, you know, you can expect to see out there. But we have more as well. You know, Eli Jones, you know, very excited about what he's done when he's gotten his opportunities, and others as well. But Ian starts the group, and you know, we're excited to work to get back to the 3-back system that was so good for us 2 years ago.
Then the wide receiver position, Daniel Sullivan, returning starter, 2-year starter, in fact, back on the outside, leading what seems to be a talented, somewhat inexperienced, and smaller but faster group of receivers. I've said at least the observation I had was they used to look like a basketball team. Now look like a 4x1 relay team out there. But it's a different looking group, but I know it's one that has you and the coaching staff very excited.
Yeah, we just want guys who could win one-on-ones, and we've had guys who have won one-on-ones in the past, some of which utilize their size to do that. But we've also had guys that utilize speed. That's why Solly cracked into the starting lineup as a freshman, is because of his speed and quickness and able to win big one-on-one matchups, and you've seen him do it in the national playoffs. So he's the starting point, Daniel Sullivan. But along with him, we have Seth McGordy. For people are familiar with him. Every time I think he came in last year, it seems like he caught a touchdown. So he's been waiting his turn behind Scott Frazier. So he's been the guy behind Scott. We knew, he was a special talent, and now with Scott gone, that's provided him the opportunity to step right in there. But then we have some more guys that the best comparison that very similar to what Solly's done to be effective, utilizing speed and quickness. And Breck Peacock, Sam Penna are two transfers that I expect to see, that we're very excited, that do a lot of great things, that utilize just their route running and speed and quickness to create separation and find the openings. So, those are the guys to highlight, and then some other returning guys as well. But, that's, as we approach this thing, has been, the main guys that have been getting the most reps with the starting quarterback.
Turning our attention to special teams, some returners. Long snapper Derek Lambert returns for his senior season. A number of the primary kick returners, Dominic Danino, Noah Wheeler, Bowden Davidson has returned kicks. Those three all back. But kicker, punter, holder, some vacancies. How are the special teams shaping up? Who are some names? I know that very excited about a kicking specialist that has joined the program this year. Hopefully we see him doing more field goals and extra points than punting. But how's the kicking game shaping up?
Yeah, definitely got the returning faces. Obviously, Derek Lambert, long snapper, in some very key pressure situations. And was so vital for us, our execution, our snap to kick time. All of those things. So excited to have him back. All three of those corners we talked about, you got to find a way to get the ball in their hands, and we just do it through the return game. So that's why all three of them are going to continue to return. So kicking-wise, Brady Lane, my goodness. His older brother had played here and played, I got fortunate to get to coach, and let's just say I work with the scout returners. A lot of times I'm back there when we're working kickoff and kickoff return, and I've just continued to tell them, you just need to keep moving back, okay? Wherever you think you want to align to catch this, just move back, because that ball is going to continue to sail. Very powerful leg. So excited for him to handle a lot of our kicking and punting duties. Holder, quarterbacks, I always go to quarterbacks to hold. And I was... I'm not afraid to have a starting quarterback hold, because he's out there touching the ball all the time. You want him touching it in pressure situations. So we've been utilizing our quarterback. So very excited to have those guys to be in that, to make sure our operation. But, I'm very excited about Brady and what he's going to be able to do in the punt and kicking game.
You mentioned that with the holder, last year it was the punter, Daniel Barabay. Sometimes those guys are able to work off on their own. If it is a quarterback, does that sometimes affect the operation, or not really, because they have like the little plastic thing that can hold the ball too? Is that something that's ever a concern, or no? Or am I overthinking it?
No,
if I am, tell me. We're friends.
No, you just got to make sure you rep it. You give them the work, and where maybe you were able to get a lot of that work during the flow of practice, because they might not be involved in an offensive practice period. You just got to make sure part of your practice time is devoted to getting those. The plus is you make sure you get all those operation and practice plays when you got a line in front of them and everything. So, just really, I just say, one of our phrases: if you're not intentional about something, you unintentionally do nothing. And the focus is there is, when you're in a situation where, yes, you have a quarterback, not a punter holding, you just got to be really, really intentional to make sure you're getting the reps to not have any drop-off in execution, as you noted. But it's hard to have your punter hold for your kicker when your punter is your kicker. So
that's true,
That's why we're in this situation.
Well, you could drop kick.
Yes, correct.
Doug Fleming did that like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
But the drop kick, Yeah, the Wolverines, we're old school in a lot of ways. I don't know if we're that old school, though, to bring back the drop kick. But, Bill Bruss, the special teams coordinator, he may have that in the appendix of the special teams manual or something.
Yep.
So that's a look at the Wolverine offense and special teams. When we come back, we'll talk about today's opponent, the Cortland Red Dragons. Cortland, a new head coach. A lot of new faces as well for the Red Dragons, but also a lot of talent back for the team that is ranked 10th in the preseason poll. Coach and I will come back, but first, here's Joe Underko with this week's PAC Football Report. You're listening to the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City.
Welcome to the first PAC Football Report of the 2025 season, covering games from September 4th through 6th. I'm Joe Underko. This week we will take a quick look back at the 2024 season in the President's Athletic Conference, while also previewing the opening fall football weekend. 3 PAC teams finished as tri-champions in 2024, Washington and Jefferson, Grove City, and Carnegie Mellon, with all 3 earning NCAA D3 playoff berths, marking the first ever 3-bid season in conference history. In addition, Westminster earned a berth representing the PAC in the inaugural Open Doors Bowl Series, defeating OAC rep Marietta 27-13 in the Extra Points Bowl in Canton, Ohio. For the first time since the 2022 season, PAC teams will each play 2 out-of-conference games in 2025. The season kicks off on Thursday night, when Westminster hosts OAC member Marietta in a rematch of last year's bowl game at Harold Burry Stadium in New Wilmington at 7 p.m. The Titans have won 4 of 5 all-time meetings against the Pioneers, with the only Marietta victory in the series being a 14-8 final in New Wilmington back in 1969. Veteran Titan head coach Scott Benzel notes that with a new head coach and staff, Marietta will provide a different look and new challenges from last season's meeting.
Yeah, it's pretty unique. You got a new staff in there, and so we don't really have any understanding of, schematics, offense and defense, which, again, we just don't know the X's and O's behind it. But we're familiar with the young men at Marietta, and we know how tough they are, and we're going to have our hands full.
Also opening the season with a home night game is Teal, as the 2025 Tomcats debut on Friday night at Alumni Stadium, with a 6 p.m. kickoff against Concordia University from Wisconsin. It's the first ever meeting on the gridiron between the two programs, as Concordia posted a 6-3 record as a member of the NACC in 2024. Fourth-year Tomcat head coach Sam Bauman talks about what led to the decision to open the season on Friday night under the lights in Greenville.
It was actually a lot to help them with travel. So, it gave them an opportunity not to kind of lose a work day on that Sunday where they're getting ready for their next opponent. So we were able to work with them. It was a great opportunity for us to get a really good week 1 opponent, and we're excited that, to play an out-of-region team.
Among a full slate of Saturday contests, new St. Vincent head coach Casey Goff makes his Bearcat coaching debut at home as SVC hosts Hilbert at Chuck Knoll Field in Latrobe at 1 p.m. Goff, most recently head coach at the College of New Jersey, returns to the PAC after having previously served a stint as co-defensive coordinator at W&J. As the Bearcats prepare to face Hilbert from the Liberty League for the first ever football matchup between the schools, Goff talked about his goals for the 2025 season at St. Vincent.
We had to kind of retrain a mindset here, and we're still not had to, we have to. We're still in that process. I think we took strides in the right direction last spring and then through camp. I've said this time and time again, I'm not necessarily, obviously we want to win football games, but I'm not necessarily going to gauge this team on wins and losses.
In other Week 1 PAC action, Hiram returns to the conference for the first time since 1989 and also opens its season on Thursday night, traveling to face Heidelberg from the OAC for a 7 p.m. kickoff. The rest of the action takes place Saturday afternoon, led by Washington and Jefferson hosting Utica from the Empire 8 at Cameron Stadium at 12 noon. Also kicking off at noon is Bethany, which hosts Sewanee, Tennessee from the SAA at Bison Stadium. Other PAC teams debuting at home facing foes from the NCAC include Waynesburg, hosting John Carroll at Wiley Stadium at 1 p.m., and Allegheny facing Denison at Frank Fuhrer Stadium in Meadville at 2 p.m. Opening on the road is Grove City, which travels to face 2023 D3 National Champion Cortland from the SUNYAC at 1 p.m. Case Western Reserve, which travels to New Jersey to face NJAC opponent Rowan at 1 p.m. And Geneva, which travels to Eastern PA to face MAC opponent Widener at 1 p.m. That's all for this Week 1 edition of the PAC Football Report. Remember to log on to the conference website at www.pacathletics.org all season long for the latest news, scores, statistics, and other league information. You can also follow us on social media daily via X, Facebook, and Instagram. Links, as always, are available at the PAC website. I'm Joe Underko. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you at the stadium.
Welcome back to the Andrew DiDonato Show here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Ryan Briggs here with Grove City College head football coach Andrew DiDonato. The Grove City College Wolverines on the road at Cortland to begin the 2025 season. Season number 131 for the Wolverines, and certainly a very challenging opener to say the least. Coach, Cortland with a new head coach, Tom Blumenauer taking over. Kirk Fitzpatrick, the previous head coach, who we got to know him when he was at Morrisville State, and then went to Cortland. He now is the head coach at FCS level Colgate. Coach Blumenauer taking over. So obviously with a new head coach, it's week 1. We see names on a 2-deep, we see roster and so forth, but certainly probably a lot of unknowns with this Cortland team, other than we know that they're going to be talented and well coached.
Yeah, absolutely. And, all of these guys have been a part of big football games. I mean, all these guys who've been there, they graduate like we do. But, when you go to win the national title, that's 6 to 7 extra weeks of practice. And then actually every year when you go deep into the playoffs, that's all those extra. So these guys have had so much practice time, so much reps. And, they hired a very great coaching staff that's experienced, and they know if you have something good, you're not going to go there and try to change it. I mean, everybody has so much respect for Kurt Fitzpatrick, the man that was there previous, who we played against in 2023. I got to coach against him when he was at Morrisville State, too. So we've developed, a friendship to where everyone has so much respect. No, he did a great job. They're not going in there to change anything. They're really going to just continue to build upon an amazing, amazing, amazing foundation that was left there. So I think they got a really good staff. They got an experienced group that has played a lot of football, been able to practice a lot of football, and that's why they're number 10 in the country. When
Kind of preparing, is there any sort of like the exchange of scrimmage films or anything, or are you going back and looking at maybe at some footage from his previous stop at Franklin and Marshall in terms of X and O type of stuff?
Yeah, I mean, we have done that in the past. When we played Juniata, for example, back when before we went to the all PAC only schedule, we did exchange scrimmage film. That didn't happen in this case, which is fine because it just depends on the situation. But so we don't have any film from this season at all. So pretty much what we have to look at is, get to know their personnel. I mean, they do have guys returning, so you can watch, and we guys that have been on the field against us 2 years ago. So we can get familiar with personnel, and yeah, I mean, you look up, any time you play a team, you look up the staff, you look at their history, you try to get a feel for maybe what the coaches have liked to do in the past. Are they more of an offensive coach, a defensive coach? What kind of offense has the programs they've come from? What do they run? So it's more of that. Pretty much you just have to solely depend on that. You just have to solely depend on, getting a feel for it. But, good thing for us is we actually practice so we define every defensive front, for example, into a few categories, every coverage into a few general categories. And to be honest, we practice them every week anyway, because we feel we have a unique offense. And one year we played a team in our league that had shown one front for 7 weeks, and they made up a new one for us. So we practice everything anyway, so we're not really concerned about it. We got to be ready to go no matter what.
And probably more so just emphasizing the basics, the core tenets of what you're doing,
correct,
offensively and defensively, as opposed to whether they have the guy in the slot is 4 yards outside the tackle or 6 yards or whatever, right?
Exactly. You just got to prepare for it all.
One thing that really jumps out at the Cortland 2-deep, the offensive and defensive lines, you look senior, occasional junior sprinkled in, but obviously a very football-wise mature group and physically mature group, guys that have been in collegiate weight rooms for 2, 3, maybe 4 off seasons.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to what we've been working hard to build to is you're playing a top 25 team in the country. You expect to see 6'3", 300 and 6'5", 270 and 6'2", 280. I mean, they're big up front. Same thing on the defensive lines, very similar. But, I think that's the impressive thing is graduating a lot that they did, how many juniors and seniors. Again, these are guys who have seen what winning a national championship looks like. I mean, geez. So when you think about that, yes, some of them may not have been on the field last year, but they know what it takes. They've had models in front of them. They've had a lot of practice. That's why, we know we're going to play a team that is well-disciplined, well-executed, and handles everything in a professional manner, and that's why they're a top 25 football team.
The Wolverines taking on Cortland in the season opener this afternoon. Coach, it's obviously an overnight trip. Cortland, about 5 hours from Grove City. So the Wolverines leaving Friday. We record this. This is not live, by the way. We always like to throw that little in there. This is recorded midweek. But it's been a while since the Wolverines have had an overnight trip during the regular season because of the all-conference schedule the last few years. Everybody in the PAC is no more than 2 hours from Grove City. Then even the preceding year in 2022, Juniata was at home. So it's been a while since there's been this kind of an endeavor, if you will. What are some things that go into it logistically, determining how many players you take? Because with a roster of 130, you can't take everybody. The hotel would like that probably. Maybe the folks in the kitchen Saturday morning for breakfast they'd have to get there earlier. But what are some things that go into that? And then also determining your travel roster. I'm sure it's probably comparable to when you had to set a roster for the playoff games as far as, well, do we take an extra quarterback, extra defensive back, things like that. How's that all kind of come together operationally?
Yeah, that's the one plus is having the experience in the national playoffs. We've got a really good feel, and those were all overnight trips of what's involved in that. So we actually used the same format that we used to finish last season, where we were taking roughly the same amount of guys, same amount of rooms, things like that. So we are really approaching this like a national playoff game. So that's the beauty is we've had experience with that, and we get to start the season with that. So that's how we determine the travel roster, et cetera. Really the same format we use, which a lot of times is your two deep, which means the guys who are first and second team O&D. And then when you get to those guys that might not be first and second team OD, but O&D, but they're involved in special teams or maybe in the two deep of special teams, that really pretty much completes your roster. Maybe a third quarterback here or a third position there, but that's pretty much it. So that's how you determine your roster. But, what's really neat is just, especially for the first game, just getting away and being together starting that day before. Not just a normal Friday here and you go to bed and you wake up, eat breakfast, and go play, which is fine too. But I think it's really neat that we just kind of get the full 24 hours leading up to the first game to be by ourselves. So that's what I'm most looking forward to. Of course, great memories are always created when you get to go on a road trip and go on a bus and stay in a hotel. So, so I'm looking forward. I'm glad that, especially with a young group, I'm glad we get that extra bonding time before we go out and play a football game.
Now, is it a case of leave Friday morning and have a walkthrough there or somewhere in between on the way?
Yeah. We, just going to go straight to the hotel, kind of get there and talk with the guys at the hotel. So, each situation's different. Sometimes you are provided. It works out to just go to a location. But, for us in this, we've had a lot of good work preparing for this week one game. Obviously, we're going to have a lot of great work, leading up to the game. And then, I'm excited for Friday. Really for Friday, we call it Focus Friday. It's really locked in one last time to just go through everything, every call that could be made, every check that could be made. And, we'll be able to cover that, very easily like we have in the past on road trips, at a hotel and just talk through things one last time.
One thing that we haven't touched on, I think certainly merits the coaching staff this year, a few new faces. Some people joining the staff this year. One is the one that we know very well, Jason Mensch, who, of course, is a four-year letter winner, multi-year starter. Holds Grove City College's record for NCAA playoff games played between lacrosse and football. But Jason joining the staff this year, taking the spot that Don Magliocco had last year. But can you tell us about our newcomers on the coaching staff this year?
Yeah, definitely a lot of familiar faces, which is really exciting. But some of the new faces offensively, Zach Windsor. So he joins us coaching our backs, which means our fullbacks and running backs. Has PAC experience, which is really exciting. He's familiar with the conference. And what the conference is all about, which then makes him familiar with our program. One of the things I was impressed with was how much he already knew about our program before even stepping in here. Justin Hartwig is going to help out as well with our offense, specifically as an offense assistant to the offensive line. Obviously, you're talking about a Super Bowl champion, but lives locally. Again, he'd come around practice before. We had him speak once to the team twice actually. So he just very graciously had mentioned how much he loves what's happening here in the program and would want to be a part of it. And it works out for him to help out this season, which is great. Then Jason Minch, who knows us really, really well,
yes.
Being that standout you mentioned, he's going to be working with, we call it our buck linebacker position. So Ben Bladel, for those who are wondering, his position, the guy who's blitzing everywhere, and obviously handling a lot of the video coordination of so much is involved there just for practice and games. He's coordinating that for us. So, those are just some new faces that, joins what I'm blessed with, which is a very, very great and knowledgeable coaching staff.
And the stability is great, but also that new blood and maybe a new set of eyes on some things or different perspectives. That's always that's always beneficial.
Absolutely, and and especially with where we want to go and what we want to continue to accomplish. You just got to continue to grow and just having some new faces and different guys to work with has been a blast.
The Wolverines taking on Cortland, the number 10 team in the country. Grove City, by the way, ranked 23rd in both national polls, D3Football.com and the AFCA. So certainly, Coach, this matchup is getting a lot of national attention as there aren't a lot of top 25 matchups in Week 1 in Division 3. That's just the nature of it due to geography and so forth. This certainly working out that it is. What are some keys for the Wolverines to go on the road and defeat a very, very good Cortland Red Dragon squad?
Yeah, I have firm beliefs of what constitutes great football and where we've been blessed to win in the past. It starts offensively, running the football and being able to take care of it. And obviously with a young group, we're looking to establish that run game early. We talked about the electric receivers. They're going to have opportunities to make their plays, and when they do, they have to capitalize on them. But that's the starting point. Control the line of scrimmage on offense and make those explosive plays when they present themselves. We return a top defense, so playing that way supports our defense. I think they're going to do an unbelievable job like they always do stopping the run. And then the other big thing is we've been able to capitalize defensively, big turnovers and sacks when those opportunities present themselves. That's what we're going to have to do defensively. And then as always, with a freshman punter kicker, very excited about him, we got to win field position. And at the end of the day, if you're able to run the football, make some explosive plays, you shut down the run, you make some explosive plays defensively, and you win field position, I believe you can beat anybody, and that's going to be the keys for us to beat Cortland here in Week 1.
From Grady Field in Cortland, New York, it is the 131st season of Grove City College football. Mark Means, Ryan Briggs, high atop the stadium as we are just moments away from beginning another season of Grove City College football.
And a season with a lot of anticipation, a lot of excitement, and a lot of uncertainty. A lot of new faces in the lineup for Grove City. Of course, the same can be said for today's opponent, the number 10 Cortland Red Dragons. Grove City, we're going to get a look at this revamped offense to begin the game. Cortland won the toss, selected to defer its option to the second half, so Grove City will receive to begin the game. And Sutton Ellis making his first start, a number of new starters up front, new starters at receiver, so a lot of new on that side of the ball. Cortland, a lot of new faces in the lineup as well, new coaching staff, a lot of intrigue today. I think we're going to have a lot of feeling out, at least in the first portion of this one.
Yeah, this will be a lot of new faces, not a lot of experience at the quarterback position for either school this afternoon for Game 1. We are set to get today's game underway. It has been raining since early morning. Rain expected to pass by about 2 o'clock. Two-man back deep for the Wolverines inside their 5-yard line. We are underway in 2025. From the 5, outside across the 10, 15, 20, 25, and near the 30-yard line before being pushed out of bounds. That's where the Wolverines begin, going left to right.
The Wolverines will have it at the 29, moving left to right here. And again, you mentioned the rain. One thing that you wonder how much has either team been able to practice in the rain. It's been a very dry late summer, now into September. Again, not a lot of wind today, but the ball, being a little bit slick, it can certainly affect the passing game. Handoffs, something to keep an eye on.
Sutton Ellis getting the start at quarterback. It'll be Shepard Miller, the freshman from ING Academy, at the tailback spot. 2 receivers go to the right, 1 to the left side on 1st and 10 from the Grove City 29-yard line. Ellis going to put a receiver in motion, bring him inside the formation on 1st and 10. They're going to run it with Miller, who's hit and knocked down at the 30-yard line. The freshman gets his first carry. He'll pick up 1. It's 2nd and 9.
And Wolverines, running to that strong side with the returning starter right tackle Luke Jolly, fullback Anthony Brunette there also. But nice job by the Cortland defense. And Miller on his first collegiate carry, a modest gain, give him a yard officially at 2nd and a long 9. Breck Peacock starting in the slot. Now Sam Penna, another newcomer. Both of those guys are transfers. They're juniors. They are the slot receivers on the 2nd down play.
Twins to each side of the formation on 2nd down and just about 9. Ellis backs the throw, pulls the ball down. He'll run with it across the 35 and down out to about the 37-yard line. He'll be just about 2 yards shy of a first down.
Sutton Ellis, sometimes just getting that first hit. And you don't want your quarterback taking too many hits, but in this case, a situation where he's getting downfield, able to protect himself, and nice job by Ellis. Again, not trying to force something, and puts the Wolverines in 3rd and short. And we see the heavy package out there with Dustin Hoddle, converted linebacker, checking in, joining Brunette at fullback.
Single back behind Ellis. Single receivers to each side of the formation with the 2 fullback look for the first time this afternoon. Play clock rolling down, now down under 5 seconds. Ellis to throw it on 3rd down. Fires downfield. Sullivan will make the catch. Turn up field to the 44-yard line and have the first Wolverine first down of the year.
Daniel Sullivan, the most experienced receiver by far on the Grove City roster. He and Sutton Ellis, they've been together since day one in terms of juniors. A good, even though they've not played a lot on Saturdays together, a good chemistry, good continuity with them. Sullivan making the catch. Wolverines, nice change up too. 3rd and 2, you bring in the extra, the beef. You go to the outside and you get a first down.
Going to put Sullivan out to the left side. The fullbacks on the strong side of the formation to that side. Ellis going to work out of the shotgun formation, single tailback behind him. They're going to run it on 1st down with Ian DeMary, who was hit in the backfield and able to continue to push the pile forward down between the 47 and 48-yard line. A good gain after that initial contact.
Yeah, the stat sheet's going to say that's a 5-yard gain. In reality, it was about an 8-yard gain. He was hit in the backfield, were able to break a tackle and not only not lose yardage, get close to 5 on the play. So Ian DeMary, the senior, you're just so hard to bring down. 5'7", 220, low center of gravity. Now, Cortland has shifted 3-man line here. They had been playing a 4-man front with Grove City now going back to its base personnel. 3 receivers with Brunette as the fullback. And now showing what would be an odd front look.
Ellis play action to throw it on the next play on 2nd down. That went a little too tall for his intended target. Looking again for Sullivan. Going to set up a 3rd down to go for Grove City.
That's the one thing the receivers that you think over the last number of years, it's looked like a basketball team with the Cody Gustafsons and Scott Frazier's and Lenhart and Heckathorn. Guys aren't as tall. Probably a little bit faster, certainly, but that one a little bit high, and going to be another 3rd down for the Wolverines. They converted on 3rd and 2 earlier.
Trips to the left, single receiver right side. Ellis out of the pistol formation. They will turn and check with the sidelines. And they're at a tailback spot. That's the junior Chase Rankin wearing number 24, who now moves to the left of Sutton Ellis. Ellis takes the snap, 2-step drop, stands in the pocket, fires downfield and a little behind his intended receiver and Breck Peacock, and it brings up a 4th down and 5.
Yeah, just not on the same page there. And Peacock actually, I think he cut that route off a little bit short. They want him to get to that lead marker or past it. If he makes the catch, he's probably going to be a yard shy. And the Wolverines now have to punt it away, and we see we get our first look at the freshman punter, Brady Lane, younger brother of former standout lineman Dylan Lane. Wolverines are very excited about what he can bring, and he'll try to pin Cortland deep.
Lane back at his 35-yard line, single returner at his 12. Snap back to him. Gets this first kick away, spiraling kick that's going to take a Grove City roll and go out of bounds right near the 14-yard line. And wasn't a thing of beauty, but very effective and pinning the Red Dragons back deep.
A functionally effective kick. Cortland's going to be pinned inside the 20-yard line. We'll see exactly where it went out. So Wolverines looking to play the field position game. They're actually going to set it up outside the 20 at the 21, but Wolverine defense up front. Jordan Karcheski is the senior end returning starter. Dave Cower on the other side. Kellen Taylor, the freshman from Penn Trafford, starts at nose tackle. Caleb Brubaker, Jack Jolly, and Ben Bladel, the linebackers. The secondary, Noah Wheeler, Dom Danino, the corners. Ryan Montgomery, Bowden Davidson, and Mason Klaus are the safeties. Klaus really he's the only newcomer in that back eight.
Resigno, the sophomore, gets the start. 3 receivers in the formation. Gallo is the feature tailback. They're going to toss it to him on first down, trying to sweep to the outside. He'll get to the 25 before being knocked out of bounds. They'll give him the 26 and bring up second down.
Ethan Gallo, 1,159 yards, 22 touchdowns. When you have a first-time starting quarterback, you're playing a good defense, you're playing in poor weather. Yeah, that's a guy that's probably going to be busy today. An outstanding running back, one of the top running backs in the East, and nice pickup on his first carry of 2025.
Yeah, Gallo averaging a little more than 5.5 yards per carry in the 2024 season. Going to put single receivers to each side on second down. Running backs to the right and left of Resigno. He'll take this snap. He will give it he's going to actually keep it and bounce it to the outside across the 35, 40, 45, 50, and out of bounds near the 46-yard line in Grove City territory. Hard fake. He decided to keep it and had running room to the outside.
Sam Cotton, the receiver on the outside, a nice block, able to, normally you think about pinning a man inside, you're thinking of a tight end or tackle coming down, but the receiver coming down inside on the defensive back, and there was nobody out there, and Cortland into Grove City territory at the 46.
So first down for the Red Dragons as they cross midfield for the first time this afternoon, right to left. Again, single receivers to each side. There are running backs to the right and left of Mike Resigno, the quarterback, the sophomore. Play clock rolling down. He'll drop back to throw. Feeling some pressure, stepping up, going to take a deep shot. Ball hangs in the air, and that football is caught inside the 5 and down to the 4-yard line.
Jacques LaPrairie going up. He was double covered. Wolverines were all over him. I thought they may get Dominic Danino for holding or interference down there, but a nice leaping grab and first and goal down to the 5-yard line. And, well thrown ball, even better catch.
So Jacques LaPrairie added to the 2 deep. Getting the start here this afternoon, makes a big play for the Red Dragons, setting them up with first and goal from the 5-yard line. Resigno, single receivers to each side of the formation, running backs to his right and left. He'll take the snap. He's going to keep it, try to follow that offensive line, spin off of a couple of tackles, and he's going to be in for the 5-yard touchdown, and the Red Dragons strike first here this afternoon.
Impressive drive, the legs and the left arm of Resigno. Couple key runs. The key play on the drive certainly had the long pass, but the quarterback keeper coming around the left side, getting the ball into Grove City territory. Impressive start. If you're Cortland, new quarterback, new coach, new a lot of things. Could not have asked for a better start. You'd always like, the big play, say a first play touchdown, but have a nice drive, go down the field, running and passing. Very impressive start for the Red Dragons.
Cole Callard on for the extra point. Snap down, extra point on the way, and it is up and good. 9:49 to play in the opening quarter, and Cortland takes the 7-0 lead over the Grove City College Wolverines on the Wolverine Sports Network.
It'd be great if life came with a remote control. You could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest. Uh-oh. Or that time you forgot to roll up your windows in the car wash.
Fantastic.
Yeah, a remote control would have come in handy then. Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome. but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes like managing your weight, getting active, stopping smoking, and eating healthier, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. It's easy to learn your risk. Take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Life doesn't come with a remote control. So you're on your own with the WASPs. You have the power to take control of prediabetes. Visit doihaveprediabetes.org today. That's doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
Wolverines set to get their hands back on the football for the second time, trailing early in this one, 7-0.
And apparently a penalty, I'm guessing unsportsmanlike, against Cortland because his kickoff is coming from the 20. So the Wolverines should have excellent field position. I've not seen anything, didn't see any sort of, or hear an announcement or see anything regarding that yet, but the kickoff will come from the 20-yard line. So the Grove City should come out of this with excellent field position.
Wheeler and Danino back to return the kick. The ball at the 20.
Love to get the ball at least out past the 40 here.
Cole Callard gets his foot into this one. It's going to be Danino from the 15 across the 20. 25, made a man miss at the 30 and slides down near the 32-yard line where the Wolverines begin this drive left to right.
Excellent job by the coverage unit. They said hoping to Grove City get the ball at the 40 because you think on a touchback it would be at the 25. If 25 plus 15 would be to the 40. Well, Wolverines are starting at the 31, which is not poor field position, but considering where the kickoff came from, nice job by the Cortland coverage unit.
Wolverines break the huddle with Sutton Ellis at the quarterback spot. Single back behind him, single receivers to each side. That's Seth McGroarty at one of the receiver spots and Daniel Sullivan at the other. High snap, they're going to run it on to first down and get out to about the 34-yard line. That'll be a gain of close to 3 yards and set up second down.
Ian DeMary running between the tackles, and Wolverines are very excited about Shepard Miller, who's checking in now, but there's something about Ian DeMary, just that steady between the tackles veteran presence. On a day where yards might be tough to come by, able to get a decent gain on first down out to the 35. Give him 4.
2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Shepard Miller, the freshman tailback, with Sutton Ellis in the backfield. Play clock down under 10 seconds. Ellis to throw, steps up, now has a lane to run. Across the 40, has the first down, don't go out of bounds. And that'll move the chains as he goes out at the 44-yard line.
Yeah, Sutton Ellis is a very mobile quarterback. We said years ago, I remember when we said about Brian Pell, you go back a decade plus, not a running quarterback, but a quarterback that can run. That's Sutton Ellis there. Good job. And he's, you look at Sutton, when we can see here, broad shoulders. I mean, he's got, you look at him from behind, he looks more like a middle linebacker than a quarterback. But doing a nice job there, and the Wolverines get a first down. They're second of the afternoon.
2 to the right, 1 to the left side. Miller's the tailback. He will get the handoff on a little draw up the middle, and Miller's going to push the pile to midfield. And good second effort by the freshman to get a couple extra yards. 5'10", 210 out of Bradenton, Florida.
Yeah, and key block, the fullback Brunette leading through, kicked out the linebacker, created a crease. Going right over center, Bobby Benton, and right guard Gabe Hilty. Good to see Benton getting the start today. Weren't sure if he's going to be able to go. He's been bothered by a hip, but practiced late in the week. Both he and Jed Feldmeyer at left guard, and they've got the Wolverines to midfield.
Second down and 4 yards to go. Single receivers to each side of the formation. Running back 2 yards deep behind Sutton Ellis, the junior quarterback. Brunswick, Georgia, making his first start. Takes the high snap, gives the football to the tailback, has the first down and more as he gets across the 45 and down near the 47-yard line. That's Ian DeMary on the carry and another Wolverine first down.
Wolverines going right at him. Right behind the center, Benton, the guards, Feldmeyer to the left, Hildy to the right. It's his first start for both of those guards. It's Benton's first start at center, but Wolverines getting a push up the middle. And Cortland stacking the line of scrimmage. They've been mixing up fronts, back to the three-man front here, but they have the ends can pinch down inside that bear front look.
They're going to run the ball again with Ian Demary. Has a nice hole across the 35 and down to about the 33-yard line, and a helmet went flying at the end of that run by Demary. He'll have to check out for one play.
It was his, and
Gain of 9 yards as Demary to the Cortland 33-yard line.
So Demary will check out. Shepard Miller will come back in.
Yeah, and again, that bear front, instead of normally like the ends in a three-man front or whatever, they're going to be out maybe in that tackle guard or the tackle guard gap or maybe on the inside shoulder of the tackle. They are condensed down over the guards, so the inside three guys are covered by linemen.
Going to run it with Miller, trying to get to the outside, and he's going to be pulled down. But it will be enough for a first down gain. Good vision to just step to the outside and move the chains.
Anthony Luciano, big hit, drove Miller back, but Miller got the first down. The Wolverines another set of downs here at the 31.
Second possession for the Wolverines, trailing this one 7-0 to Cortland here week 1 on the road in Cortland, New York. Again, single receivers to each side of the formation. Got 2 fullbacks set up on the right side. Ellis takes the snap. He'll give the ball to Demary, this time bottled up right at the line of scrimmage. Running off the right side for no gain. It's going to be second down and 10.
Normally when you hear blitz, you're thinking about in a passing situation. That was a run blitz there. They had the 3 linemen all condensed. A couple linebackers walked up on the outside. Looked like essentially an old 50 front, safety down there too, and they were firing through to stop the run. And now second down and 10. The Wolverines go back to the 4 receiver package. Penna and Peacock back in.
Twins to each side. Ellis working that hard count, turns, checks with the sidelines.
This could be a case, too, spreading them out. You may have some running lanes for Chase Rankin, who's in there in this situation. Just a 3-man line. You could have a 5-on-5 blocking situation.
Ellis drops to throw. Stepping up in the pocket, feeling the pressure. Ellis is going to be sacked back at the 36-yard line as the puck had just collapsed around him. And it's going to bring up now a long situation, 3rd and long for the Wolverines.
And just pressure coming off of that side, and Ellis trying to get out of there and ended up getting right into it. And good job of the pass rush. It was nothing fancy, but just able to get in there and bring down Ellis for the loss. Now situation here, 3rd and 16. Maybe if you get 9 or 10, at least get into perhaps Lane's field goal range, or put yourself in a more makeable 4th down situation.
Trips to the right, single receiver left. Ellis to throw. Steps up, he got hit and sacked again. We'll spot him back at the 43-yard line, and it brings up a 4th down and long.
Aiden Weiser, the linebacker, coming off the edge, and he beat the offensive lineman pretty easily, and Ellis never had a chance. And it's now 4th down, and the Wolverines' promising drive stalls out, and Brady Lane on to punt for the 2nd time. So Wolverines got to the 31, but back-to-back sacks snuff out this drive with 4 minutes to go in the quarter.
Patterson back to return the punt from a Brady Lane. Back to Lane, gets this kick away high and over end. Patterson calls for the fair catch and makes it right about the 9-yard line.
Saw the hang time on that one. We joked about the first one being more functional than it was pretty. That was certainly very effective, and just to watch it, it was a majestic hang time to it. Got it to hang up and forcing Cortland to begin its drive back inside the 10. Of course, again, the first drive, the touchdown drive, started at the 21. You think, oh, that's 12 yards, but okay, you're that much closer to your own goal line. And again, still it's a first-time starting quarterback. You had a very good first drive, but when you're huddling on the goal line, you tend to not be as brave.
Resigno, single back, Gallo with him. Couple of wings and 2 receivers in the formation. Man goes in motion, all kinds of movement up front, and we'll have our first flag of the afternoon.
Second one had the unsportsmanlike that we didn't see. But
okay,
first one
we saw.
First one in the course of action.
Defense, number 67, 5-yard penalty.
Jordan Karcheski getting a head start, so a free 5 for Cortland, and that's big, not only 1st and 5, but now 5 yards away from the goal line.
So 1st and 5. Ball now at the 14-yard line. Man comes in motion. Resigno takes the high snap. He'll give the ball to Gallo, trying to sweep to the outside, and Wolverines there to make a nice tackle at the 14-yard line for the junior Ethan Gallo.
Noah Wheeler chopped him down. Good pursuit by the Wolverines. Caleb Brubaker strung him out. Mason Klaus coming downhill. Gallo did a great job to elude both of them, but could not get away from Wheeler, who cuts him down, so no gain on the play. Good job by Wheeler in run support. Wolverine corners, they've typically done a good job in run support. We saw it last year and here on that play.
2nd down, just about 5 to go for the Red Dragons. Resigno overlooking the Grove City defense, sends a receiver in motion. He's going to be back to throw. That pass is high and incomplete. Looking for the receiver, Iavadeo, cutting across the middle, and it's 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, Iavadeo, he was preseason All-American this year. He was actually a preseason All-American last year, but was hurt and ended up missing the season. He's a key guy in this Cortland offense. Remember, 2 years ago when we were here, they had Burgess and Lapp, 2 guys that both had NFL looks. So he was a bit under the radar, if you will, as far as being a preseason All-American for being under the radar. But anytime that the ball's going in his direction, you hold your breath.
Trips to the right, single receiver left side. Gallo is the tailback with Mike Resigno, who drops to throw. Pressured, hit, and sacked back inside the 5-yard line. Somebody forgot to block Ben Bladel, and he made a sack into the backfield.
Caleb Brubaker got there first, actually, from the other side. Snap was a little bit off. Resigno, who's a lefty, so he caught the ball with his right hand. By the time he collected it with his non-dominant hand, Brubaker's in there, and if he got away from him, Bladel was there to polish him off. Good job of the Wolverine defense. Now Cortland with a new punter, punting from the end line. See if the Wolverines come after this one or...
Yeah, Gavin DeAndrea, the freshman punter, just off the back line of their end zone. High snap, he pulls it down, gets the kick away. And it's Dominic Danino there to make the fair catch. And Grove City going to have good field position at the Cortland 44-yard line to begin this drive.
Yeah, the impulsive thing would be to say, let's go after it. New punter, have him pinned back. But at this point in the game, okay, 2:15 to go first quarter, play the field position game. Lane pinned Cortland deep inside the 10 with his punt. Your defense gets a 3 and out. Cortland's punt only gets it to the 44. So you've netted field position. You've got some momentum. The Wolverines have moved the football. So and they set up for the return, and it was a fair catch. But sometimes not going for broke is the right call. And it certainly was there.
Ellis takes the snap, gives the ball to Ian DeMary, trying to follow his blockers and pushing the pile forward. And across the 40 and down to the 39-yard line. Grove City trying to establish that run game here early like they are known to do.
And DeMary slow getting up. I don't know if he... I'm wondering if maybe he landed on the football. He's going to check out, as will Dustin Hoddle. But Dustin Hoddle, Grove City debut today. Came to Grove City last year, missed the entire season due to injury. He was a linebacker. Michael Walliser was scheduled to be the number 2 fullback this year. Michael was hurt in camp. Probably going to be out for the year. They moved Dustin Hoddle over, and he is quickly picked up on being that number 2 fullback. And you saw he and Anthony Brunette clearing the way.
2nd down and 4. Ellis back to throw. Fires and short hop that one incomplete. Looking for Breck Peacock, the junior, out of a very familiar high school that we have learned over the years in Wheaton Academy.
Yeah, out in the Chicago area. Breck came to Grove City back in the spring, played lacrosse at Grove City, became a real contributor for Alec Jernstedt's team, and starting at slot receiver today. They've gone to him a couple times, but he and Ellis just haven't quite gotten on the same page yet.
So 3rd down. Just about 5 yards to go. Trips to the left. Single receiver Sullivan to the right side. That is Chase Rankin now in at the tailback spot to the left of Sutton Ellis. Play clock rolling down to 3 seconds. Now 5-2. And Grove City's not going to get this off, but they are going to take a timeout. We've got 1:45 to play in the opening quarter. It is Cortland 7, Grove City 0. You are listening to the Wolverine Sports Network.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. It's that time of year again. Buy one, get one free windshield wiper sale. You heard correct. BOGO windshield wiper sale with any of our Valvoline full-service oil change through the end of the year. So get ready for Old Man Winter today before he arrives. BOGO windshield wiper sale through December 31st. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out. It's that easy.
Off the Grove City timeout. Back onto the field. Facing a third down and just about 5 yards to go. Again, trips to the left. Single receiver. That's Sullivan to the right side. Rain continuing to fall as it has since early morning here in the Cortland area. Ellis takes the high snap, knocks it down to himself. He'll just pick it up, try to run with the football. And he's going to be tripped up right at the line of scrimmage for no gain.
We saw a high snap affect the Cortland drive, led to a sack. That time a high snap ends up in no gain. If Ellis is able to catch it cleanly, and again, the snap was high. You're dealing with a wet football, wet turf, etc. Maybe he's able to get outside and beat the defender out there, but fourth down, the Wolverines will keep the offense on the field.
So 4th down and 5. Twins to each side of the formation. Rankin, the tailback. He's to the right of the junior Sutton Ellis. Play clock down to 5 seconds. Ellis to throw. Pulls it down now. He'll run with the football. Oh, run over one of the defenders, but he's still going to be about a yard shy, depending on the spot of that first down.
They're going to mark him down a yard short. That was, apparently the knee or the shin hit. Looked like he was going to be closer, maybe even have it, but the headline's been on it right away. And Ellis is going to be marked down 1 yard short. So the Cortland defense holds, and now Cortland will come out of this with decent field position at the 35. So this game kind of, again, Cortland scoring on the first drive, but it's sort of settling into that type of game here early on. More feeling out. The Wolverines have moved the ball. There's a lot to like, with the first couple drives, but they've not been able to yet finish said drives.
Mike Resigno, the sophomore quarterback, will have one receiver to his right, two to the left. Ethan Gallo is the tailback with him in the backfield on 1st and 10 from the 35. Resigno takes the snap, fakes it to Gallo. He's going to keep it, and he's going to be tripped up after a 1 yard gain as the Grove City defense coming up to fill the gaps and make the play.
Caleb Brubaker coming from inside linebacker, then Mason Klaus, the safety, coming down. So we saw Resigno have the big run on the first drive. On the quarterback keep, it's the read option. You either give it, reading the end, and then pull it out. He pulled it that time, and Wolverines were ready for it.
Cortland came right back to the line. Now they'll check with the sidelines on 2nd down and 9. Resigno going to give the ball to Gallo, and he is bottled up after about a 2 yard gain as the middle of that Wolverine defense filling and pulling Gallo down after a short gain.
Dave Cower in there, the defensive end out of Mount Lebanon, making his first start. Also, we're going to have the end of the first quarter. So Cower and Jack Jelly combining on the tackle, and Cortland will have 3rd down when we come back with the second quarter.
We've come to the end of 1. It is Cortland 7, Grove City 0. You are listening to the Wolverine Sports Network.
The impact of a meal goes well beyond feeding our bodies, because when people don't have to worry about where their next meal is coming from, they can truly thrive, like Marta.
And now we'll hear from our class valedictorian, who with our hard work never ceases to amaze us. Please welcome Marta Moreno.
And Alex.
Hey, Alex, how did the interview go?
I did it! I got the job! I can't believe it!
I knew it. Let's meet up later to celebrate.
And Diego.
Mom! I got first place at the science fair with my volcano project.
That's amazing, sweetie. Congratulations.
Because when people are fed, futures are nourished, and everyone deserves to live a full life. Join the movement to end hunger at feedingamerica.org/actnow. feedingamerica.org/actnow. A public service announcement brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
3rd and 7 for the Red Dragons. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left side. Gallo is the tailback for Mike Resigno, getting his first start for Cortland here this afternoon. And as the snap is away, we've got a flag, and we're going to get a procedure penalty on the Red Dragons that'll back them up 5.
Wolverines in this what is now an obvious pass situation, a substitution up front. Dave Cower checking out. They bring in Nick Clemens. He's a freshman from Moon, plays linebacker. We know anybody else that did that?
There might be one particular player.
So he and Nick Clemens rotating in as a rush end here in this third down situation. Of course, Ben Blado wearing number 5 on one side. Clemens, the bookend, and what is now a 4-2-5 look for the Wolverines on this third down and 12.
3rd and long for the Red Dragons. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for Mike Resigno. Lefty drops to throw, stands in the pocket. He's going to fire one downfield that is incomplete. Receiver was looking for a flag that he did not get. That was good coverage. Downfield one-on-one by the Wolverines.
Jason Ziva, the intended receiver. Ryan Montgomery, the free safety, rotating over. Was there contact? Yes. Was the official there? Yes. Did he deem it to be enough contact? No. So there was a bump, and, if let's say this. If the tables were turned, we'd be saying, well, they could have thrown a flag there. But guess what? They didn't. But good job by Montgomery, the senior back there, 3rd year as a starter for Monty. And the Wolverines will force a punt.
That's Dominic Danino back to return this punt, standing right around his own 30-yard line. High snap, spiraling line drive kick that he'll field at the 27, across the 30, 35, and tripped up down near the 37-yard line. And Grove City will take over. First possession of the second quarter, going right to left.
And there's an injured player back upfield for Cortland, one of the special teamers on all fours. He was tangled up with Ben Blado trying to block him, and he ended up on the that's Aiden Weiser, who, of course, had the sack earlier out there as one of the personal protectors. And especially you see it early in the season, teams will have probably a few more starting guys out there on special teams. You look at in Grove City's punt situation, the protectors are Nate Trainer, starting tackle on offense, and Jordan Karcheski, defensive end. They like the really beefy guys. Weiser, there's a senior linebacker, a guy that they like being there essentially to quarterback the punt unit. A lot of times it is a linebacker, or a safety. Somebody like that is, a guy that you trust back there, and he's going to be out at least for a couple plays. But that's, occasionally the risk, though, that when you have your starters on special teams, sometimes that can happen. But by the same token, you have to have your best guys out there. And Aiden Weiser, obviously, as we already saw through the first quarter, he's one of Cortland's best guys.
Off the injury timeout, Wolverines will start from their 36-yard line, with 1 receiver to the right and 2 to the left. Ellis, overlooking the Red Dragon defense, will drop to throw. Time in the pocket. Going to take a shot downfield, looking for Seth McGroarty, and that pass is going to be incomplete over his head and incomplete. And 2nd down and 10.
McGroarty averaging over 26 yards a catch last year in a reserve role, but he certainly is a deep threat. Ellis showing off the arm strength, and that one a little bit too much, but yeah, I like the aggressiveness. You don't want to settle into just a pattern of run all the time. First down, take a shot deep, get that defense loosened up. If the safeties are a yard or two further back, all of a sudden maybe a 4-yard run turns into an 8-yard run.
2nd down and 10 for the Wolverines. Single to the right, trips to the left side. Ellis is going to keep the football across the 40, 45, 50, and out of bounds into Red Dragon territory at the 46-yard line.
Sutton Ellis really brings that element, an element the Wolverines haven't had in a while. The ability to run the, not the guys, Logan Pfeiffer was mobile, but Sutton Ellis, it's almost like he was built to run that quarterback draw or quarterback lead play. Chase Rankin doing a nice job finding the inside linebacker, and the Wolverines are across midfield.
From the Red Dragon 46-yard line, first down and 10. Single receivers to each side. Anthony Brunette, the senior fullback. Single back in the backfield behind Sutton Ellis. They give it to him. That's Ian Demiri, who's checked back in. And Demiri able to push forward for about a yard down to the 45-yard line.
Yeah, Cortland using a lot of the odd front today with a true nose tackle. Again, with new coaching staff, you're not 100% sure what you're going to see. It's the first game. There's not much film out there, and I think the Wolverines, they had a chance to make some adjustments. And they it's not the first time they've ever seen a three-man line. Now they're back to the four-man front here. But again, when you have the young linemen, it takes a little while to get adjusted, get the proper calls. And but good cat and mouse game.
One receiver to the right, two to the left. Ellis play action to throw it. Fires downfield. That's Breck Peacock making the catch across the 35 and down to the 34-yard line, enough to move the chains for the Wolverines.
Took a couple times, but they are now in sync. Breck Peacock, he is we got to see him again on the lacrosse field last spring. And there are a lot of transferable skills. We've certainly have saw it in the past on defense with Jason Mensch and, of course, Bowden Davidson. But watching how Peacock moves in traffic, change of direction, he can go north, south, east, west, bang, just like that. Gets open and gets a first down for the Wolverines.
Put one receiver out to the right side. Looks like Ian Demiri now back in the backfield for Grove City. And he will get the handoff. Had a big hole to rumble through. And he is down to about the 32-yard line. Picked up a quick 3 before that hole closed up.
Yeah, good job in run support. Filling that coming down was Alessandro DeRosa, the senior, getting the start in the secondary today, one of the captains for Cortland. And that takes some courage. You're a defensive back to go head on with Ian Demiri at 220 pounds. Good job by the safety to limit what looked like it was going to be a pretty good gainer. Instead, a 3-yard pickup on first down.
Second down at 7. Split two receivers to the right, one to the left side. Burnett, the fullback, set up on a wing to the right side. Sutton Ellis, play action to throw. Has time, fires downfield. Seth McGordy makes a catch. Spins upfield inside the 15 and down near the 13-yard line. And little rhythm to the offense on this possession for the Wolverines.
Yeah, they took a shot deep to McGordy earlier. Wasn't there, but that time making the catch on the out pattern. Seth McGordy, 9 catches last year. A guy that has bided his time. A guy that has been a starting caliber wide receiver, but the Wolverines were so deep and so experienced in the last couple of years, now getting his opportunity and getting the Wolverines inside the red zone.
Burnett and Huddle both in there at the fullback spot. Ian Demiri is the tailback with single receivers to each side of the formation. Play clock now down under 10. Ellis takes the snap, 2-step drop, going to try and loop that pass downfield over the defensive back, and it falls incomplete. And brings up a second down and 10.
Yeah, there's a man situation. It's a one-on-one. It's Alan Fiore, 6'2", 180, the senior cornerback. A little bit of a size edge on Sullivan there. Ellis made a pretty good pass, just the coverage too good. Second down, but again, you like those tendency breakers. You don't be predictable. Now come back here on second down.
Miller, the tailback, 2 receivers to the right, 1 inside the numbers. 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Play clock now down under 5 seconds. Ellis to throw it. Has time. Receiver fell down. And all kinds of contact, but the ball falls harmlessly to the turf, incomplete. And it's third down for Grove City.
Yeah, you hold your breath on that when McGordy lost his footing, and Nazir Jean Lubin, junior cornerback, who is he's as good as it gets at that position in this part of the country. And he had a chance at that one, but when McGordy went down, he kind of took Jean Lubin out as well. And it's third down.
Trips to the right side. That's Sam Penna in the slot to that right side with McGordy to the left, just inside the numbers. Ellis takes the snap, standing in the pocket, looping the ball downfield. Man breaks wide open, and that is a Grove City touchdown. First one for 2025.
Nice route design. Outside man goes in. Inside man goes out. There's Breck Peacock on the receiving end. Hey, he scored 7 goals for the lacrosse team in the spring. He scored 6 points for the football team here in the fall.
He might outscore his lacrosse numbers in the football season.
Well, he's one away from it, but really nice pass there and good route design against that coverage. Wolverines are on the board.
So Brady Lane on for the extra point. Lambert to snap it. Ellis to hold, and the extra point is up and good. 10:51 to play. First half, it is now Grove City 7 and a Cortland 7 as the Wolverines got a little rhythm to that drive and found the painted area for the first time here in 2025.
9 plays, 64 yards on the drive, and of course the touchdown came on third down. So the Wolverines getting a third down conversion for the touchdown, and Grove City all of a sudden now was really time of possession. Sometimes it's a misleading possession. It can be very misleading. Today, it has the feel that it's not that case. 10-minute edge for the Wolverines already, 14-20 to 4:49, but a nice drive there. And Sutton Ellis throwing it to Peacock. And Sutton Ellis, you can see him getting more and more confidence. A couple of nice runs. The pass to McGroarty hit Peacock a couple of times. We're all tied up. This is, Wolverines have some momentum. The defense is playing well, and now the offense had moved the ball, now finishing drives. So exciting to see.
And with the success of the run game, mixing in a little bit more of that play-action passing attack on that drive as well. Brady Lane, the freshman, set to kick this ball back to the Red Dragons. 2 returners inside their 5-yard line. Lane puts his foot into this one, high end over end, drifting into the end zone. He'll bring it out across the 5, 10, and out to about the 13-yard line before being driven back by that Grove City special teams. And we've got a flag back here at the 41-yard line.
Interesting spot there. You wonder, were the Wolverines off sides? And that would be a killer if they were, because right now Cortland has the ball inside its own 15. And you see the kick unit starting to walk back upfield.
And still waiting for that call. But we do see the Wolverines heading back upfield.
So Brock Belmont, the senior linebacker, offsides, and now the kickoff will come from the 30. That kickoff went into the end zone. The return man elected to, Ravi Das elected to bring it out. So the Cortland would have had the ball at the 13. Or even if he takes a knee, you add the 5, they'd have it at the 30. Let's see how this shakes out. Of course, the coverage unit, those guys all sprinted down there. So they're going to be a little bit winded. And we've called a lot of football over the years. Well, called it, watched it, whatever. If you're rooting for the team that's kicking off, you're holding your breath here, especially knowing the explosive return men deep for Cortland.
Again, they stay inside their 5-yard line. Lane's kick is a line drive that's going to go over the head of the deep man and roll out of the back of the end zone. And you've seen the way that Brady Lane can be a difference maker for the Wolverines in 2025.
He kicked it from 5 yards further back. He kicked it 5 yards further. So, but Cortland does gain 12 yards out of that, taking over to 25 instead of the 13. But that's where the Red Dragons will put it in play. But, yeah, Brady Lane, again, the Wolverines really excited to have him. Of course, last year, Daniel Sullivan doing the kicking, and he did an excellent job, led the team in scoring. But also, starting at receiver, having to kick, that's a lot to put on somebody's plate. There's a reason you don't see it very often in college football because it is very difficult. But now to have somebody to focus on the place kicking and punting allows Sullivan, who, if needed to, he could kick or punt. But great debut for Lane.
Rusigno going to throw it on first down. That pass is intercepted by the Wolverines secondary and knocked down at the 40-yard line. As stepping in front of that throw, Ryan Montgomery, the senior, comes up with the first turnover of the year.
Trying to hit Tyson Taylor circling out of the backfield, and it was just a duck from Rusigno, underthrown badly. You wonder maybe did it slip out? We talk about the wet ball. He needed the fastball. He threw a changeup, and Ryan Montgomery, it's a change of possession for the Wolverines. They have it at the 41.
See what the Wolverines do here after the turnover on 1st and 10 from that 41-yard line. Put 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Bringing that far receiver from the slot in tight on the formation. Play clock 20 seconds, plenty of time. Ellis going to give the football to Shepard Miller on 1st down. And Miller down to about the 38-yard line will pick up 3. It is 2nd down and 7.
No, really a key exchange here for this Cortland defense. Was on the field for a long time, and then coming right after the kickoff, the turnover, back out there.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left. They'll turn, check the cards on the far sideline. Good crowd over there making the drive about 5 hours from Grove City for today's game. Ellis to throw, steps up, fires a rocket downfield, and that pass is going to be caught inside the 15. That's Breck Peacock again, and give credit to Shepard Miller, who picked up the blitz, the freshman, in the right spot to give Ellis time to throw the football.
The toughest thing for a freshman running back to adjust to when going up a level in football, be it high school to college, college professional, pass protection. Great job, as you said, stepping up. Sutton Ellis stepping up in the pocket, throwing a dart. It was a throw with conviction. Peacock making the grab. He knew he was going to take a shot, and he did. Good job of the defensive back to hit him in that target zone in the chest. 10 years ago, would have been trying to blast him up high, but good throw, good catch.
They will run it on 1st down. Ian Demary twisting his way upfield down to the 10-yard line. Good gain for Grove City on 1st down.
And again, the Cortland defense was out there for that long drive, and then quickly right back out there after the Montgomery interception. And Grove City plays a very physical style of football. Play after play after play. Cortland's a very physical defense too, but just it's week 1. They've done a lot of conditioning and stuff, but still getting in game shape, game condition. This is also something too that could have an effect in the second half as well, the cumulative effect.
Ellis to throw. Now he'll step up in the pocket and he's going to run, and we'll get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play. It's going to be 3rd down from the 10-yard line. Grove City continuing to substitute. Now we'll see wholesale substitutions by the Red Dragons defensively as well.
Yeah, they're matching up personnel, getting some extra defensive backs. The Wolverines have 4 receivers out there. Again, 4 receivers is not something we saw a lot of the last few years. They would use 4 guys, but usually in combinations of 3. But here 4 out there with 3 on the wide side.
Ellis takes the snap, avoids the first tackler, puts his shoulder down, drives inside the 5, and down near about the 3-yard line.
Sutton Ellis, that looked like he was going to be a sack and then maybe a gain of 1, and he was not going to be denied. And again, he wears 17. That's a quarterback number, but he turns into a fullback once he gets across that line of scrimmage, and it's 1st and goal at the 3.
Ian Demary in at the tailback spot. Ellis going to go under center for the first time here this afternoon.
That's something to keep an eye on, too. The center snap exchange, wet weather, new center, new quarterback.
Burnett goes in motion, stretch handoff to Ian Demary, and Demary going to work the pile into the end zone. He carried tacklers for the 3-yard touchdown, and the Wolverines have scored again to take the lead.
Turning the turnover into points, Demary slamming in from 3 yards out, and again, just give credit to that offensive line up front. Trainer, Ian Quinn in as an extra lineman, Hilty, Benton, Luke Jolly, the fullbacks. Great job by that front, willing their way into the into the goal, over the goal line, into the end zone. The Wolverines have the lead for the first time.
Brady Lane wearing 85 on for the extra point. Lambert to snap it. Ellis pulls down the high snap, the extra point on the way, and it is up and true. 7:01 to play first half. Grove City now with a 14-7 lead over Cortland on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Take a look under your bed. Find stuff under there? What about jobs? No? Now try your basement. There's a pair of overalls that overall you're not so into anymore. A perfectly good laptop that hasn't sat in your lap in months. And even more stuff, but still no jobs? Well, you really have both. See, stuff is defined as household articles considered as a group. Sometimes this stuff is no longer needed. Wait, no longer needed? That can't be right. Because remember those jobs you were looking for? Those are really needed, and they're the stuff inside your stuff. Even inside that winter coat that moved with you to Phoenix. Our job is to unlock those jobs, and it starts when you donate your stuff to your local Goodwill. Here's how we do it. When you donate to Goodwill, we sell your stuff to provide job training for people right here in your community. So just by teaming up with Goodwill, you help create jobs. And isn't that worth parting with the leftover keytar from your 80s cover band? Goodwill. Donate stuff, create jobs. Find your nearest donation center at goodwill.org. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
Brady Land gets his foot into this return. He's coming out outside of the 3-yard line and spinning his way out across the 20 to the 22-yard line. That is Tyson Taylor, number 0, on the return for the Red Dragons.
And the tackle made by freshman linebacker Aiden Talley out of Leland, North Carolina, North Brunswick High School. That is way down on the southeast corner of North Carolina, down by the Waccamaw River, a little bit north of Myrtle Beach, but in North Carolina. It's about as south in North Carolina as you can get.
South of North?
It is, yes. Or north of south, too. But either way, Talley, freshman on the kickoff team, and making a nice play.
Resigno, after the interception on the previous series, back in there at the quarterback spot, puts a receiver in motion. They give it to him, trying to sweep to the outside, and the Wolverines there to knock him down after about a 4-yard gain. That's Sam Cotton, the junior wide receiver. One of the leading returners in receptions and yardage for the Red Dragons at that receiver position.
Yeah, very skilled guy. You know, his ability to run, good speed, good lateral mobility also, but good pursuit from the Wolverines. Bowden Davidson helping track him down along with Caleb Brubaker.
Second down and 4 for the Red Dragons. Resigno, 2 receivers right, 1 to the left. Will drop to throw. Lefty has time, flings the pass out, caught across the 30 and down near the 34-yard line. That's Jason Ziva on the reception. And the Red Dragons will move the chains.
One thing we didn't talk about, Bowden Davidson moving to the dog position that Jason mentioned played the last few years after playing corner. But really the way football is, most teams playing, you look at Cortland, with all these dangerous receivers out there, you have to have 3 corner caliber cover men out there, and the Wolverines have that now with Danino, Wheeler, and Davidson.
Trips to the left side, single back in the backfield. That's Ethan Gallo, the tailback, next to Mike Resigno, the quarterback, who again drops to throw. With time, takes the shot downfield. That pass looped in between 2 receivers. And that's going to fall incomplete as he couldn't make the catch going all the way to the ground.
Yeah, intended for Ziva. Tried to find the hole in the zone, Grove City zone coverage that time on the deep out, and he maybe had a chance of it. Noah Wheeler got the hand up, perhaps distracted him enough, and it's second down.
2 to the left, 1 to the right side. It's Resigno and Gallo in the backfield on second down and 10. Wolverines showing some pressure. They'll run the ball with Gallo, who's bottled up and driven back to the 30-yard line. And once again, Ryan Montgomery, the senior, coming up with a big stop.
Ryan Montgomery, you talk about just a consistent performer day in, day out, week in, week out, year in, year out. He had the big interception earlier, of course, last year, that big win over Carnegie Mellon, recovers a fumble in the end zone. Ryan Montgomery, the Slippery Rock High grad, he has put together a great career at Grove City and off to a very good start here this afternoon, starting his senior season.
Third down and long, third and about 12 to go for the Red Dragons with trips to the left, single receiver right side. Resigno to throw. Going to take the deep shot downfield, and that pass is going to fall incomplete. Grove City had that covered well with Noah Wheeler, the sophomore, and it brings up fourth down.
Good coverage by Wheeler downfield. At the last moment, he got twisted around a bit, and you start to wonder, but the pass was The pass was to the outside. Both the receiver and Wheeler were kind of spun inside, and Wolverines get off the field, and the punt team out again for Cortland.
So Gavin DeAndrea to punt. Dominic Danino, wearing number 4, is back to return this kick at his own 31-yard line. Snap, kick is away. Wobbly, short kick, fair catch called for and made at the Grove City 38-yard line. And with a little more than 4.5 minutes to go, Grove City has their chance to move the football, which they have done the last 2 possessions.
Wolverines now 160 yards of offense, 86 on the ground, 74 through the air. You love that balance, certainly. 4.5 minutes to go. The Wolverines have 3 timeouts. Of course, we have the 2-minute timeout as well in college football. That was new last year. But you'd love to see the Wolverines burn up the rest of that clock and put some more points on the board before halftime.
1 receiver to the right, 2 to the left side. Ellis takes the snap, looking to throw. Pulls the ball down, avoids the rush, gets to the outside, eyes downfield, fires downfield, and that ball skips short of the intended target. Looks like Sullivan down near midfield. It's 2nd down and 10.
I think Jackson Cipher may get credited with a pass breakup. He had his back to the play going after the receiver, stuck his arm out and hit him. Ellis, he was trying to keep the play alive. Might have been a case where he probably just should have chucked it out of bounds. But that's something that comes with experience. And, Sutton Ellis, you just watch him. He's got some juice to him. I think as this season goes on, I think we're going to say he's a gamer.
2nd down and 10. Single receiver out to the right side of the formation. 2 fullbacks in there. They will run it on 2nd down
Ball's
and
out.
10. A loose ball. Red Dragons think they may have come out of there with the football. And yet to get an indication. And looks like the Cortland Red Dragons have come up with the loose football at the Grove City 40-yard line.
Yeah, well, as he was trying to dodge, I don't know if he he had the ball in his right arm, if he might have hit like the hip or the hind quarter, one of the linemen, and that jarred it loose. Ball came out, and we saw, of course, what the turnover did for Grove City to take this lead. Now Cortland, an excellent opportunity, taking the ball at the 40-yard line of Grove City. Ample time, 4:07 to go first half.
Red Dragon offense back out onto the field with sophomore quarterback Mike Resigno. We'll have 2 receivers and a wing to the left. Running back with him on the left side, that's Gallo. Resigno takes the snap, fakes it to Gallo, now looks to throw, pulls it down, gonna fire it downfield, looped it over Bowden Davidson, and the receiver made the catch. That Sam Cotton for the Red Dragons, down to about the 17-yard line.
Perfect throw. I mean, Resigno, there was one spot he could throw it where Cotton could make the catch. That's what happened there. He had just enough velocity on it, just enough touch over top of Davidson, and now Cortland inside the red zone at the 17 after that pickup of 23.
1 receiver to the left, 2 to the right side. But Resigno and a Gallo in the backfield. Play clock at 17 seconds. Gallo now moves to his left. Ball bobbled, batted by Resigno. He'll pick it up, banged into one of his own offensive linemen, and was able to turn the corner and pick up a couple of yards to get just inside the 15-yard line.
And a couple of times today where he's had the snaps have been a little bit off, and he's had that propensity just to try to do the one hand like a basketball player rebounding with one hand. Go up and get both hands on it, then secure it. And that time he was fortunate to get out of the mess and pick up a couple of yards before Brubaker tracked him down.
2nd down for the Red Dragons. Single receivers to each side, wing to the left side. Gallo, the tailback. That receiver now comes in motion. They gave it to Gallo. Gallo broke 1 tackle, twists his way inside the 10, and down to about the 8-yard line.
Not often you see somebody escape the clutches of Jack Jolly, but that's what Gallo did there, and looked like it was going to be no gain. Instead, puts Cortland in 3rd and short. Third and about a full yard, but good run from Gallo. You don't run for over 1,100 yards and 22 touchdowns without the ability to break tackles, even from some of the top tacklers on your schedule.
Now we've got whistles, and looks like the Red Dragons are going to take a timeout.
The 2-minute timeout.
So the 2-minute timeout now in effect for the second year gives us the chance to step away on the Wolverine Sports Network.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Off the 2-minute timeout break, third and is short for the Red Dragons. Resigno looking towards the near sidelines, has trips to his right and a single receiver to his left. Ethan Gallo, the junior tailback, now moves to his right. Play clock down under 5 seconds. Resigno takes the snap. Lefty looks to throw. Fires it into the flat. Receiver made the catch. Try to reach out with the football. That is a loose ball on the turf. And look to see who comes out of there with the ball.
Or are they going to mark him down? I think they're going to say he was down. It certainly looked like he was. But it was the side judge on the near side was a bit tardy in indicating or blowing it dead. He was down. The reach out and down, that's when the ball came out. But there was no whistle. So it's going to be first and goal at the 1. I thought Cortland might go to the air there. Third and a yard. Obviously, it's going to be 2 plays to get a yard. The third down might be the play they would go with the pass. And it worked out. Now, first and goal, at the 1.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right side. Gallo is to the right of the quarterback, Mike Resigno. Play clock, 10 seconds. Resigno puts a slot receiver in motion, gives the ball to Gallo, now pulls it back, and he's going to step to the left and walk into the end zone for a Red Dragon touchdown.
Resigno, he's good with the ball in his hands. That you'd say, well, you put it in, you pull it out. There's a lot more to it. There's a little bit of that ride element to it. And he rode Gallo for a long time, then pulled it out and was able to pick up the yard. And Cortland has made it 14-13 with the conversion pending.
So on for the extra point. Snap down, extra point on the way, and that kick is good. So with 1:26 to play here in the fourth quarter.
First half.
It's been week 1.
It has been. You slept in an unfamiliar bed last night.
We are tied at 14.
We are tied at 14, and each team with a turnover. And the other team has turned that turnover into points. So it's been a pretty even half. Cortland had the upper hand more or less for the first 11, 12 minutes. Then Grove City started control, and now the pendulum has swung back a little bit towards Cortland. And here is in a 14-all tie. Again, they give the stats to us. Total yardage 161, 124 for Grove City. Wolverines statistically, with the edge, have had the 8-minute edge in time of possession. But just in terms of the eye test, the feel, as we expected, this is an even football game. I will say I'm a bit surprised it's 14-14. I thought that might be kind of a fourth quarter score, and who knows, maybe it will be. But just with the defenses and the offenses, some of the uncertainty. But both offenses have played well against good defenses. But all in all, it's been an entertaining first half of football here, and the Wolverines will have a minute and a half and 3 timeouts at their disposal.
Dominic Tonino, Noah Wheeler back to return. Both right about their 5-yard line. Kick is away, knuckling in, going to be fielded at the 3. Outside across the 10, 15, 20. Hammered down, ball's loose, and the Red Dragons have come up with the football, and they will take over at about the 22-yard line of Grove City.
A big hit from the blind side, knocked it loose, and now Cortland a golden opportunity here before halftime, already in field goal range, and all 3 timeouts remaining for the Red Dragons.
So, second Grove City turnover of this first half. Now gives Mike Resigno and the Red Dragons an opportunity with 1:20 to play here in the first half.
Wolverines last year led the country in turnover margin, but right now -1.
One receiver on the numbers out to the left, 2 receivers inside the numbers to the right side. Resigno, play fake, looking to throw, looking end zone, ball batted in the air, intercepted in the end zone by Wheeler. He's going to bring it out, cuts back across the 5, 10, 15, 20, couple of flags across the 30, and out of bounds near the 35-yard line.
And then another flag is Wheeler was hit well out of bounds. There are 3 flags in the field of play. There's 1 on the sideline. There's going to be a lot to sort out. The Wolverines will have it. They're probably going to have it somewhere in the neighborhood of the, let's see, probably around the 20, 23-yard line. So Wheeler caught it on the deflection, brought it out past the 30. 3 flags in the middle of the field, I presume a hold or a block in the back. And then the end of the play, the late hit, which would be a dead ball penalty. So they would administer the block, if that's what it is, go half the distance from there and then 15 forward. But the crew, they are having a 4-man powwow at the 35-yard line because there is a lot to figure out here.
Rain seems to have slowed or stopped, and the sun actually trying to make its first appearance in a day or so.
The officials are okay. So the penalty on the return is going to be at the 14. So if you go back half the distance, that's the 7. Then 15 forward would be the 22, if that's what the penalties are.
Still continuing to sort things out, but you mentioned down 1 in the turnover margin, now back even at 2 apiece here in the first half.
The officials, they have one of the officials has the card out or something, marking something down. So lots of slort
on the play, 1 on each team. Personal foul, blindside block on the return team, number 98. That penalty will be enforced half the distance to the goal line. Foul, late hit out of bounds on Cortland, number 74. That penalty will be assessed 15 yards. First down, Grove City.
So after they sort everything out, Grove City will have the football back. And just a little bit more than a minute on the clock here in the first half. All tied up at 14.
Individual national champions and present them with their championship rings.
So they will mark off the penalties.
63 seconds of football away.
And it looks like Grove City will take over from their 22-yard line.
Got 1:03 to go in the half. So Cortland taking the shot deep, going for the quick strike. Ball tipped up in the air. Looked like it might have been Bowden Davidson, got a hand on it, hung up there. Noah Wheeler fielded it back. He was, the end zone here says Cortland, big block letters. He was between the top of the letter T and the end line, and ended up bringing it out. Of course, at college, you cannot have more than a 100-yard return statistically, but he was probably 8.5 yards deep in the end zone when he fielded it, and ended up bringing it out to the 22, or out past the 30 with the penalties. It's 1st and 10 at the 22.
2 to the right, 2 to the left. Sutton Ellis, the quarterback. Quarterback draw with Ellis. Got a block, trying to get to the outside. 25, looking for the turn the corner. Spins back and down near the 29-yard line. And quickly sprints the ball back to the umpire to get back to formation.
I think now if the Wolverines here, if they get the first down, then see them take a timeout. With Brady Lane's leg, if they even get to, say, the 30, 31, they may take a crack at the field goal. Long way to go. You have to still, 20 yards shy of midfield.
Ellis back to throw. Time fires down the seam. Pass caught across the 50, down to the 49-yard line. That's Breck Peacock with another catch. He's having a big first half.
Big first half. You can tell that Ellis has developed a lot of confidence in him, and the Wolverines will take the first of their 3 timeouts. 22 seconds to go in the half. Still 2 timeouts for Grove City. And now at the 49, considering Lane's leg strength, or check, that's the... Is that the first or second timeout? I think he said second, but I don't. Do you recall a timeout earlier?
I don't.
And our view of the scoreboard is obscured a little bit by the goalpost. Either way, 26 seconds to go in the half. The timeout says, yep, 1 timeout left for Grove City. It's down at the bottom. So 1 timeout. I erred in saying that they had the 2. But still 1 timeout left. Clock stops on a first down also, but the 49, now you're thinking 15 yards, you might take a crack at the field goal.
Yeah, I had a chance to go to the dual practice with Bolden Wallace. The ball sounds different off of his foot when he hits it.
All right, 1st and 10 from the 49 of Cortland.
Single receiver to the right, trips to the left side. Single tailback in the backfield with Sutton Ellis, the junior, making his first start here today. Ellis takes the snap, 3-step drop, steps up, pressure. Ellis is going to be sacked back near the 43-yard line.
We're able to get after him, just a 4-man rush. Down to 10 seconds to go, and the Wolverines, I think, are going to be content to take it to the locker room in a 14-all tie.
So those final couple of seconds, actually, now everybody's going to decide that we will head to the locker room as there is a Cortland player down on the field. We have made it through the first half, and we are pretty much where we were to begin this one. We are tied at 14 between Grove City and the Cortland Red Dragons. And these two teams know a little bit about playing close games together.
Yes, certainly. Of course, 2 years ago in the playoffs here, it was 14-all at the half. That was the day where Cortland jumped out 14-0, and you're thinking, uh-oh. But then Grove City tied it by halftime. Then it was back and forth in the second half. Today, it's been back and forth in the first half with Cortland and Grove City knotted up at 14 here at the intermission.
So we will take a break, come back and go over some of the first half numbers right after this on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Hi, we're the Goo Goo Dolls. We're fortunate that we can give our daughters everything they need to grow and learn. But not every child can focus on classes and play dates.
Nearly 13 million kids in the U.S. face hunger. That's 1 in 6. School lunch might be their only meal each day, and it's heartbreaking to imagine any child going to bed hungry. We're dreaming of a perfect day when kids can smile, play, and just be kids without worrying about where their next meal will come from. Feeding America is working to make that perfect day a reality.
Each year, the Feeding America network of food banks rescues billions of pounds of good food that would have gone to waste. That food is given to families and children in need. Being a kid should be about doing things that make an ordinary day extraordinary. Learning to play an instrument, building a sandcastle, hosting tea parties. Hunger should never be an obstacle to growing up.
You can help end childhood hunger in your community by visiting feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
Hi, I'm Smokey Bear, and I made an assistant to help you out, because only you can prevent wildfires.
Hey, Assistant Smokey Bear, call me Papa Bear, because I'm grilling up dinner.
Do you get it?
Yes, good job.
So, what should I do with all these coals?
Don't just toss them out. Put them in a metal container because those embers can start a wildfire.
I understand. The stakes are high.
Ha, 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 ha.
Learn more at SmokeyBear.com.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
And we're back here at Cortland, Grady Field. Grove City and Cortland tied up at 14. We will recap the first half in a few moments with all the stats, a lot to talk about. But right now we have a very special guest joining us. He is one of the co-hosts of the highly popular and highly informative In the D3 Football Huddle. Along with his colleague James Baker, we're joined by Frank Rossi, who has made the trip from Ballston Spa, New York, here to Cortland and taking in this top 25 matchup. Frank's become a great friend of the Grove City program over the last several years. He and James, they do such a great job promoting Division III football, and it's a privilege to have him on here for a few minutes at halftime. Frank, welcome.
Briggsy, I was actually taking up residency, I think, in Pennsylvania the last couple of days because we tried to cover the Mayor's Cup game, all one quarter of it the guy played. Then we had the Sodexo Cup at Muhlenberg. That was last night, and that was a good game, a fun game. And then I came right up 81 to the gut of New York, and here we are in Grove City. I got to tell you, I thought after that first touchdown by Cortland, things were looking grim. You guys surge ahead, take the lead, and now, after some fumbleitis going on down there, we're tied up. Could have been worse, though.
It certainly could have, yes.
It was looking a little ugly with about a minute left, but got the ball back on the tip drill.
It's been kind of coming into in week one, and I know you and JB you focus on all the teams in Division III, and certainly some programs. Cortland, of course, has been on the national scene. Grove City's emerged in that the last handful of years as well. But week one is always so interesting because we just don't know what the teams have, what they bring in, who got better, who didn't get better, all those things, and. Well, I think what we've learned here is Cortland and Grove City, much like they were 2 years ago, seem to be pretty even.
I would say 2 years ago, indeed, they were pretty even. I think Grove City should have won that game a couple different ways, but couldn't get it done. 2-point conversion and then missed field goal, basically. But, long story short, last year, another interesting year for both teams, both falling short of where they thought they could get to, and then losing quarterbacks on both sides and losing a lot of other key players. But you still have people like Brubaker on the defense to be a good anchor on that side of the ball. You've got a great backfield with some bowling balls back there again. So this will be a good year, I think, for Grove City still. Okay, Mount Union will be a true test next weekend. We'll see where I end up. It's possible. I have not made
you know the way,
yet.
and you know you're always welcome.
I appreciate that. But with Cortland. The Tom Blumenauer era beginning here, sophomore quarterback who looked pretty good in the first drive, 4 plays, 81 yards. So you got to kind of look at this like, we're learning about each other. And if you're looking at, NPI and Pool C and stuff like that at this point in the season, I've got to remind everybody it's way too early. And it's nonsense as it is. So go win your conference, learn who you are in your non-conference games, and it's good to have Grove City back in non-conference games for the love of goodness.
Yeah, the way things worked out, just the conference course, the membership in the PAC fluctuating the last handful of years. But talking a little bit about what you and JB do each week in the Division III football huddle, what are some of the platforms it's available on, and kind of what was the genesis of it? And I know it's kind of grown and evolved over the last handful of years.
Absolutely has. We are, let's say, daily available on Twitter at D3FB Huddle and at Frank Rossi as well. Our long forms often, or more often than not, go up on Facebook on D3 Huddle there. And we've also moved to YouTube because of some rule changes on Facebook about archiving. Now we have a full archive again back on YouTube there. And we're also aligning with Flow Sports on the free side of the paywall.
Okay, that's always important.
For our Crunch Time show, which is kind of our Sports Center type highlights on Tuesdays or thereabouts each week, and they're being great to let us use their content more than normal. And on the flip side, we're giving them some quality D3 content, which they appreciated as well. So it works both ways. We have Instagram as well. I mean, look, this is the day and age of too many social media platforms, but here we are, Briggsy. I mean, you can find us if you go in Google and search D3FB Huddle, pretty much.
And we certainly encourage you to do so, and we appreciate all that you and JB do. Of course, your connections with Division III began at Union College, which is here in New York a number of years ago. It's your alma mater, correct?
Yes, it is. They had a 99-yard touchdown to tie Susquehanna earlier, but Susquehanna has since surged.
So, okay, well, we're familiar with Susquehanna, too.
Yes,
so,
you are.
So then Union, and then James Baker, your cohort, he Hobart connection, correct?
Hobart connection. He was watching very upset as they lost to Alfred last night.
Okay.
Under the lights that went off prematurely during the game. So
well, we had some lighting problems back home with the high school games last week, a couple stadiums going out, so now it's drifted up into the southern tier of New York. But, Frank, I know you have some other people to visit with and so forth, but number one, thanks for joining us. Number two, thanks for all you and JB do for all of Division III. I know we appreciate, it all started us back in 2018 with Grove City, the ECAC Bowl, because you guys do the ECAC Bowl announcements.
I was telling the story downstairs to one of the Cortland folks I know here, that 0-33 streak, not knowing really who Grove City was, saving it for last and watching that reaction, it still gives me chills to go back and watch that video.
And it gives me chills, too, with that for many reasons. Of course, this is now year number 24 for me working at Grove City. I went to college there, so I'm fond of the place. But I was also on the ECAC Bowl committee that year, and I knew it was coming. And knowing where we had been and where we had gotten to, but I couldn't tell anybody. I had to sit on it for like 2.5 hours, and then knowing you guys were doing the show, and then it went through the first 3 games, and there's one game left, and then the reaction of our guys in Rathburn Hall and you guys there. I mean, it was. We've had a lot of special moments over the last several years with Grove City football, and hoping for more this year and beyond. But that's one that I will not forget anytime soon.
It's an honor to have been part of this story, part of Coach DiDonato's reign of terror for the Pack for sure. But he's a quality guy. You are a quality guy. Todd Gibson, your AD, is a quality man as well. It's just a very, very, very perfect crew that epitomizes the heart of D3 football and Christian schools as well.
Well, that means a lot, Frank. Thank you for joining us. Enjoy the second half. Looks like you're going to stay dry out there the second half.
Let's hope so. I need it.
But Frank Rossi from In the D3 Football Huddle, also the mayor of Ballston Spa, New York, by the way. So the Honorable Frank Rossi, right?
Yes, on most days.
Yeah, most days. I thought maybe you would have snagged something out of a raincoat out of the Public Works closet or something, but
not in this day and age.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but hey, Frank, thank you so much for everything. Enjoy the second half.
Appreciate you.
Frank Rossi joining us here at halftime. We'll bring Mark Means back in after this break. We'll go over the first half scoring and stats, and we'll take a look at Wolverine athletics. A lot of good stuff to report with the Wolverines back home as well. 14-14, Grove City and Cortland tied up on the Wolverine Sports Network.
When is the best time to talk to your family about staying in touch during a disaster? When floodwaters reach your door? When wildfires are engulfing the edge of your neighborhood, or an earthquake is destroying buildings. When a tornado is tearing through town, or a hurricane strikes. Or is the best time perhaps today? During a disaster, you may not be able to stay in touch with your family or friends as easily as you think. And it's not always as simple as using your cell phone. That's why now is the time to take action. Go to ready.gov/communicate and make your emergency plan today. Don't wait. Communicate. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Just a little under 10 minutes to go here at the half. The special teams players coming out on the field for both teams. Tied up at 14 with Grove City and Cortland.
Yeah, looking at the first half numbers, of course, score tied at 14. It was Cortland getting on the board At 9:49 of the first quarter, Mike Rosigno, 5-yard run for the quarterback, made it 7-0. Grove City answers at 10:51 of the second quarter. Breck Peacock, 13-yard touchdown reception from Sutton Ellis. Brady Lane's extra point tied it at 7. That was a 9-play, 64-yard drive. The Cortland drive, 4 plays, 79 yards. And then after a Ryan Montgomery interception at the Cortland 41, 6 plays later, Ian DeMary scores from 3 yards out, and the Wolverines had a 14-7 lead. But Cortland was able to take advantage of a Grove City turnover, a fumble at the 40, and 5 plays later, Rosigno scores on a 1-yard blast over the left side, and Callard's extra point tied the game at 14. Statistically, Grove City with the edge, 12-5 in first downs, 182 to 124 in total offense, 86 rushing yards, 96 through the air for Grove City. Cortland, 46 rushing yards, 78 passing yards. So 182 to 124, the edge in yardage. Grove City, big edge in time of possession, 1932 to 1028. Will that have a cumulative effect in the second half? We will find out, certainly. Ian DeMary leading Grove City, 11 carries, 42 yards. Sutton Ellis, 10 carries for 25. Ellis is 6 of 13 for 96 yards and a touchdown. He's been sacked 3 times. Breck Peacock, 4 catches, 70 yards. Seth McGroarty, a 19-yard catch. And Daniel Sullivan, 1 catch for 7 yards. On the Cortland side, Rosigno, 6 carries, 29 yards. Ethan Gallo, 5 attempts for 11 yards. Rosigno, 4 of 10 for 78 yards. Intercepted twice, once by Noah Wheeler, once by Ryan Montgomery. Sam Cotton, 2 catches for 64 yards. Jacques LaPrairie and Jason Ziva, each with a catch for 7 yards. Aiden Weiser, a couple of sacks on the Cortland side. Caleb Brubaker, a sack for Grove City. 14-14 is our halftime score. We have corrected stats. Let's see, but they look pretty similar though. But either way, added up the big board off to the left says 14-0. That's what's most important. But again, this was we weren't sure what to expect from either team, and we've seen a lot of good teams from both teams. Some things to clean up, turnovers 2 each. I think some of that I think you attribute to the defenses. Some of it maybe a little bit careless offensively. I think the 1 interception Rosigno threw, you would say, was probably a bad ball. The fumble, one Grove City fumble was could have maybe some better ball security, but all in all, good first half of college football here in Cortland.
And we saw some things we haven't seen for a few years with Grove City, with a running quarterback, that ground attack with the quarterback as well, and some things we've seen in the past that Coach said with you in the pregame show that they wanted to go back to now, using 3 different tailbacks throughout that first half.
Yes, 3 different running backs, Shepard Miller, Ian DeMary, and Chase Rankin, all getting time in the backfield. We've seen some more 4 receiver sets with Sam Penna and Breck Peacock in the slots, joining Seth McGroarty and Daniel Sullivan. And again, and Sutton Ellis being a running threat. Of course, when you have the quarterback running, what does that mean? You have an extra blocker. And the Wolverines have taken advantage of that. A couple of quarterback draws, and they're just designed the quarterback lead plays. So a lot there. And Cortland has given Grove City a lot of different looks defensively. 3-man line, 4-man line, rotating safeties down, mix of man and zone. There's been a lot for the Wolverine offense to digest, especially the offensive line, with 1 full-time starter back, Luke Jolly at right tackle, Bobby Benton making his first start at center. He's started a handful of games, but he's starting at center. 2 new guards as well, Jed Feldmeyer on the left side, Gabe Hilty on the right side. Nathan Trainer's been a part-time starter. He's at left tackle. But all in all, after a couple of hiccups early on, the offensive line has settled down. Again, I'm sure Cortland probably has some blitz packages, some twists or stunts or whatever that they're saving for the second half. But that'll be a challenge for the Wolverines. And likewise, Wolverine defense, I don't think that defense coordinator Dan Vogt has shown his whole hand yet either.
You never want to show all your cards early on. Save something for what is potentially the opportunity to be a very close game between these 2 teams.
Certainly, absolutely. So, hey, Mark, time to take a look at the PAC scoreboard. Full slate of action. Of course, Thursday night couple games, Westminster falling to Marietta 12-8. Unusual score there, but Westminster falling 12-8. And Hiram, PAC newcomer, falling at Heidelberg 65-27. Last night, Teal opened the season against Concordia of Wisconsin. Concordia winning 27-8. Games in action today. Third quarter, Sewanee down in Tennessee coming up to Bethany, 14-6. Sewanee on top. Late second quarter, Utica leading at W&J 21-14. First quarter, Widener is all over Geneva, 24-0. First quarter, St. Vincent debut for head coach Casey Goff, 7-0 lead on Hilbert. End of the first, John Carroll at Waynesburg University leading 13-0. And late first quarter, Case Western Reserve. The Spartans logging some miles there out at Rowan. We saw them at the baseball playoffs last May. Of course, Rowan's baseball team went to the College World Series. Football team's always been pretty good. Case and Rowan tied at 7. Denison and Allegheny, they're going to kick off in about half an hour in Meadville. And looking at the Grove City scoreboard, the Grove City volleyball team improving to 6-0 this weekend. 3 more wins at the Oberlin tournament. Wins over Worcester and Oberlin yesterday. 3-1 over Worcester, 3-0 over Oberlin. Another sweep today, 3-0 over Adrian. So Grove City 6-0. Wolverines open the home schedule Tuesday night, 6 p.m. against Carnegie Mellon, which will certainly be a stiff test. Grove City men's soccer, pretty good week for them. A 1-1 draw Wednesday night at Carnegie Mellon. And then last night, the Wolverines blasted Oberlin 5-0. 4 goals in a 16-minute span. Noah Gray scored twice. Luke Lattis scored twice, first 2 goals of his career. Owen Whitehead, a freshman, adding an insurance goal in the second half. So the Wolverines are 1-1-1. They'll be at Barron coming up on Wednesday night and then back home next Saturday for Buffalo State in non-conference play. Cross-country teams, they opened up at West Liberty. The meet was held at Bethany, but West Liberty hosted it. Mostly Division II teams there. Good performances by the Wolverines. On the women's side, Rebecca Berger, a sophomore transfer, finishing 29th overall. On the men's side, Colson Frank, Grove City High grad, leading the way, finishing 14th. Wolverine tennis teams were supposed to play Ashland today. Those were unfortunately canceled, but that happens, especially with the weather and stuff. And women's soccer, Grove City hosting Case Western right now, and the Spartans have a 2-0 lead on Grove City in the first half.
Really just jump right into the fall sports season.
We eased into it a little bit last week, and now we are full bore this week. And, of course, you can check us out, athletics.gcc.edu. Follow us on X, GCC_Wolverines. That's also our handle on Instagram as well.
So a busy time for Wolverine Athletics. We are at the half with Grove City tied at 14. We'll step aside, get you ready for the third quarter next on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
This is why you work so hard to pay the mortgage. Because home is more than 4 walls and a roof. It's that porch swing on a summer night. It's pajamas with feet and everybody over for Sunday dinner. And that old stuffed chair in the living room you just can't get rid of. This is why you work a second job. This is why you learn to fix things yourself, so you could save on repairs. Because home is your place, your memories, your family sleeping in their own beds at night. And that is why we want to help. We are making home affordable, a free government resource that can make paying the mortgage easier. And now even more options are available. Call 888-995-HOPE today. That's 888-995-HOPE. Or visit makinghomeaffordable.gov.
Good night, Mama.
This is why. Brought to you by the U.S. Treasury, HUD, and the Ad Council.
Getting ready to begin the third quarter here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Cortland won the toss. They deferred, so they will get the football to begin today's third quarter. As the Red Dragons will be going left to right to begin action here in the third.
Quick update, W&J down 4 at the half to Utica 21-17.
Lane's kick is away. This one will drive into the end zone about 2 yards deep across the 5, 10, 15, 20, and spun down just shy of the 25-yard line.
Danny Franco down on the coverage. We see Keegan Frazier as well. Levi Teets also down there. 3 of the special team stalwarts for Grove City, and Cortland will have the ball right at the 25 where they would have had it after if they'd taken the touchback. But Red Dragons will take it. We look down, not a lot of wind. And then again, the rain has more or less cleared out. It's still mostly cloudy, but you can kind of see some haze off in the distance. Temperature is climbing a little bit. It was in the 50s at kickoff, now into the low 60s.
Resigno takes the snap. Lefty looks to throw, fires downfield. Pass is going to be caught at the 29-yard line for a short gain on first down.
At the 29-yard line.
Not like it was the first time we were here when we came for the walkthrough, and it was probably the coldest and windiest I'd ever experienced at a game.
4-yard gain, 2nd and 6.
That was late November. Although this feels like October, not September 6th today.
Resigno sends a receiver in motion. He's going to turn to run to the opposite side of that formation. He's going to be stood up at the 30-yard line and pushed back. Give him just one, and it'll bring up third down.
Nice job of the nose tackle, Kellen Taylor. We've not called his name a lot. Freshman. To be a freshman to start at nose tackle in this game, this is a grown man's game, and Taylor, the freshman out of Penn Trafford, he's done a nice job today, and really at the point of attack there, clogging things up along Karcheski, among others, to make the tackle.
So 3rd down and 5 for the Red Dragons. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Resigno and Gallo in the backfield. Resigno drops to throw. Time. Fires downfield. Pass intercepted. 30, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. Noah Wheeler stepped right in front of that football and took it to the end zone.
We saw last year the pick 6 was a big thing for the Wolverines, and Noah Wheeler continues it here. Jumped the route. The Wolverines brought the extra rusher. They brought 5. Jack Jolly coming up the middle. Ben Blada was able to provide pressure on the front side. Resigno, the pass was errant. Wheeler jumped the route, takes it back for the touchdown. I believe 35 yards or thereabouts. However long it is, it's a touchdown for the Wolverines. Noah Wheeler.
The sophomore from McKinney, Texas, has his 2nd interception of the day. Now Lane on for the extra point. Snap and hold are good, and the kick is good as well. So Grove City, interception turned into a touchdown, now leads 21-14, 13:33 to play 3rd quarter on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. It's that time of year again. Buy one, get one free windshield wiper sale. You heard correct. BOGO windshield wiper sale with any of our Valvoline full-service oil change through the end of the year. So get ready for old man winter today before he arrives. BOGO windshield wiper sale through December 31st. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Try it in, try it out. It's that easy.
Wolverines turning defense into points, now leading 21-14, forcing their 3rd turnover of this game. And Brady Lane, who's been busy, will now kick the ball back to the Red Dragons.
Noah Wheeler, very impressive freshman year last year, and 2 interceptions today, both of them big.
Across the 5, 10, outside to the 15-yard line, and then a host of Wolverine tacklers there to pull him down right near the 15-yard line.
There's those guys again, Frazier and Teets, Chase Rankin, who played safety as a freshman, just those glue guys. And you think about the depth that the Wolverines have developed. Where is that most evident? Special teams. Guys who are starter caliber, like Teets and Frazier, Rankin, making that and making Cortland now have to go 85 yards. We talked about Wheeler, of course, the 36-yard touchdown return. That's obvious. Also, the interception on the tip in the end zone as well, when it looked like Cortland was going to take the lead.
1st and 10 for the Red Dragons. from their 15-yard line. They're going to run it with Gallo on first down. Bounce to the outside across the 25 to the 30. He'll go out of bounds with his longest run of the afternoon so far.
Yeah, I think if you're Cortland, obviously don't panic here. Even though it's new quarterback, new coaching staff, all that, you've just given up the touchdown return. Give it to Gallo. Get a first down. Move the chains. Take a deep breath. There's a lot of time left. 13 minutes to go. Tom Blumenauer has been a very successful head coach. 21-11 at Franklin and Marshall, but still, it's all new, and I'm sure that Resigno's a little bit rattled. What's the best way to settle them down? Give it to your 1,000-yard rusher.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left side. Resigno drops to throw, rolls to the short side, looking to run. Now he'll tuck and run across the 40 and get near the 45-yard line before going out of bounds with another first down.
Wolverines brought the rush up the middle that time. A good job by Gallo to get in the way enough of Ben Blado, who got past the guard. And Gallo was able to stalemate him enough, gets Resigno out to his left, and he beat Jolly to the corner. First down, so back-to-back first downs via the ground for Cortland. A nice answer by Cortland after the touchdown, the interception return for touchdown.
2 receivers to each side, running back to the left side of the quarterback, Mike Resigno. Dropping to throw. Pressure, steps up, and he's pulled down back at the 40-yard line. That Grove City defense there wreaking havoc from the linebacker spot.
Ben Blado got him that time. He was able to escape Caleb Brubaker, who came from one side, flushed him out. Of course, Resigno being a lefty, he's running to his weak side, and Blado hauls him down for a loss of 5.
Right back to the line, trips to the right. Single receiver left side. Gallo remains the tailback with Mike Resigno, the sophomore who got the start today and has gone all the way for the Red Dragons.
Career sack number 35 for Blado, by the way, extending his own school record.
Going to give the ball to Gallo, who's tripped up in the backfield, and he's going to be dropped back near the 36-yard line. Red Dragons going in the wrong direction the last couple of plays.
Brubaker was in there, but it was Jordan Karcheski, the defensive end, who made that play. He was able to push the line back. He established a new line of scrimmage. That allowed the linebackers to come free. Now 3rd and long for Cortland.
Trips right, single receiver left. Red Dragons facing a 3rd down and long. Need to get to the Grove City 46 for a first down. Resigno to throw. Again, feeling the pressure. Step it up, looking to run. Hesitates for a moment, and he'll go down at the 39-yard line. And it's going to bring up 4th and long for Cortland.
That has to be unsettling as a quarterback. You're running, you get out in the open, you need 18 yards, you have a yard or two, you glance over his shoulder, Jack Jolly's coming at you from the back, Caleb Brubaker's coming from the front. You do not want to be the meat of that sandwich. And he's brought down after a meager gain, and the Wolverines will send out the punt return team, Danino deep.
Dominic Danino standing at about his 23-yard line. Snap rushes on. They get the kick away. Danino drifts back to about his 16 across the 20, 25, and will go out of bounds at the 27-yard line. And Grove City takes over, first down and 10, leading 21-14 with 10:13 to play here in the 3rd.
D'Andrea with a nice kick there. We talk a lot of times about the hang time. That's certainly important, and distance. That's what's measured. You average 35 yards a kick, 44, whatever. But also sometimes the direction of it too. Kick that one outside the hash mark towards the numbers. Use that sideline as an extra defender. Doesn't give the return man a lot of extra real estate, and helps your coverage unit out. It was a very nice punt by D'Andrea.
Single receivers to each side. They set up a wing to the right. Ian DeMary gets the first carry, and DeMary's across the 30. And they'll say down at the 30-yard line. He'll pick up about 3. It's 2nd down and 7.
Like for the Wolverines, get a first down or two here. Let the defense catch its breath. They got the lead on the pick 6, but the defense has been out there for the first 5+ minutes of the 3rd quarter. Again, it is week 1. There's all the conditioning and all that, but it's game shape, the adrenaline. You get it winded a little bit more easily in week 1. Especially in a game, certainly where it's been tight, very physical, high-stakes game here.
2 receivers to the right. Going to run it again on a 2nd down. And out across the 30 to about the 34-yard line before being pushed back is Shepard Miller. Freshman playing in his first game as a Wolverine today.
You'll check out, and the Wolverines will go to that 4-wide package with Chase Rankin. So 3rd down and 4. This seems like maybe the case where Sutton Ellis's legs may come into play just as much as that right arm, which has been very solid today.
2 receivers right and 2 to the left side. Ellis takes the snap, tried to fire the slant. That ball got batted away and incomplete.
Memphis Ferguson, freshman linebacker, getting out there in coverage, got into the passing lane. Sullivan was open, but Ferguson doing a good job to bat it down, and the Wolverines go 3 and out. Brady Lane on to punt as the dangerous Ravi Das back deep.
Das standing at his 25-yard line.
He had a punt for a touchdown last year.
Snap back to Lane. Gets away a high spiraling kick. Fair catch made right about the 25-yard line, and that is where the Red Dragons will take over. 1st down and 10.
Much like we talked about the D'Andrea punt, same with Lane there. Had the hang time angle to the near side as well, and best way to neutralize a good punt returner, or kick it high and kick it towards the sideline.
Every time I say Red Dragons, I feel like I'm drifting into my high school days.
Yeah, with Niles, which plays across the plays in your neighborhood.
Very close.
Very close by. A long punt from the Means homestead.
So
we might need a relay man to get it there with us, though.
Yeah. My Wi-Fi works from my house at the press box. Let's just put it that way. Single receiver to the right and at 2 to the left for Mike Resigno. Play clock under 20 seconds. Going to pitch the ball to Gallo, trying to cut to the outside, and he gets cut down and dropped right at the line of scrimmage for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10.
Mason Klaus, the free safety. What a physical presence. You look at him, 6'3", 190 out there. Long strides. He looks like a high jumper out there, but coming down and just taking out Gallo on that kind of a slow-developing toss play. Sort of a shotgun spread variation of toss power or student body left. And Mason Klaus bringing him down for a very short gain.
2nd and 9, fake the pitch, try to cut upfield, and he's able to carry a tackler for about 2, maybe 3, and set up 3rd down.
First time we saw that, they fake the run one way, fake the pitch the other, then it's Resigno on a quarterback counter. Dave Cower, the defensive end, he maintained his gap integrity, stayed home, did what he was supposed to do, clogged things up, and then Blado with the tackle, but good job by Cower. Junior played a little bit more so at nose tackle last year, moving out to end in this 3-man line, and a nice play there, putting Cortland in 3rd down and 7.
Red Dragons 1 of 6 on 3rd down so far. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left side. Resigno takes the snap. Lefty drops the throw, avoids the rush, directing traffic, going to fire downfield. And that pass almost intercepted, but broken up by Bowton Davidson from his safety position, and it brings up 4th down.
He was there. Klaus was in the neighborhood also. Brubaker delivered a big hit on Resigno along the sideline. That's one of those ones you hold your breath on. I thought the flag might come out. It was close. He hit him in the chest, but in terms of just the timing of it, 15 years ago you wouldn't have blinked, but it was deemed to be right on time, and it's a 3-and-out forced by the Grove City defense.
D'Andrea to punt for the Red Dragons. Dominic Danino back deep. Standing just inside his 30-yard line. Short, wobbly punt that will take a Red Dragon roll, then turn back towards the 40. And Grove City's going to have good field position at their own 39-yard line to begin this possession.
That was a blown protection by Cortland. Ben Bladel came in untouched, and he was about a half step from blocking it. I think he was so surprised. I don't think he necessarily had the all-out rush. He's going after it, but maybe three-quarter throttle because having to honor against the fake. He has other responsibilities when they're setting up for the return, but he was left untouched. But yeah, even just his presence, I think, forced a less than stellar punt. And the Wolverines have it at the 39. So this exchange of punts, the Wolverines have gained a few yards out of it.
7:06 to play, third quarter. 21-14. Grove City with the lead and the football. Single receiver to the right, two to the left. Single back in the backfield behind Sutton Ellis. Ellis to throw on first down, fires downfield, and that's Breck Peacock who makes the catch and gets across midfield and into Red Dragon territory at the 47-yard line.
That completion there, that is the receiver and the quarterback both understanding what they're seeing. They saw the spot in the zone. Peacock caught it, curled up, made the catch, turns upfield. The Wolverines have a first down just past midfield. But Breck Peacock, what a debut.
Fifth catch for Breck Peacock. Two receivers go to the right, one to the left side. Now they'll bring Breck Peacock in tight on the formation to the right side, and they will run it on a first down. And able to push the pile forward for a couple of yards. And we've got a Wolverine getting up a little slowly from the pile at the 45-yard line.
And that's Nate Trainer, the left tackle. He's up and jogging off a little bit gingerly, but he'll have to come out for a play, and Zeke Swift will check in for him. But Chase Rankin getting the carry there. Of course, we saw Peacock motioning in. That's something we saw a lot in the past with Ryan Heckathorn and Ryan Lenhart, who were bigger, thicker guys than his Peacock, but still his presence there. He's a physical guy. Now we have somebody has to come out. Apparently Zeke Swift, there's something equipment-wise that well, now he's coming back in. Tyler Francis came in. It's looking like they're setting the penalty kill or the power play out there.
Not too far away from that starting.
No,
up.
Certainly. This is big hockey country up here now. And now Swift going out, and it will be Tyler Francis coming in. So if nothing else, Zeke is getting his steps in.
Francis, 6'2",
well, now
sophomore.
Crowd getting on
a little restless.
You can't blame them.
We've got the ready for play.
We're ready now, and the play clock's at 20. So it must have been an issue that is a dead ball issue that you're allowed to make that substitution. But that's a week one deal there.
Ellis to throw, loads up, going to take the shot for Sullivan, and that ball batted away and incomplete. Little too far out in front for Sullivan, and it's going to bring up a third down.
Yeah, Grove City went with the two-man route there. Sullivan out and up, and good coverage downfield. In fact, Sullivan had stepped out of bounds. Alan Fiore, the cornerback, was there with him step for step. Actually, he ran the route as well as Sullivan did.
Trips to the right, single receiver left. That is Seth McGroarty. Check in with the sidelines. Play clock now down under 10 seconds. Ellis turns back to the line of scrimmage. Now down to 3 seconds. He'll snap it with 2. Ellis going to take the shot for McGroarty. Downfield, throwing in a double coverage. And that ball was batted away. The safety rotated over for extra help. And the pass ball is incomplete.
Yeah, trying to find the soft spot in the coverage, but a good job by Luciano, the safety. Gene Lube in the corner there, step for step. Good coverage downfield. Ellis taking a shot to McGroarty, but it's fourth down, and the Wolverines will look to pin Cortland deep with 5:44 to go in the third.
So Lane will punt the football away. Returner going to drop to his 10-yard line. Red Dragons trying to come after this one. Lane gets the kick away, and a fair catch is going to be called for at about the 9-yard line. And you've seen that several times in this opening game, using the special teams to flip the field.
Yeah, and Brady Lane, certainly he has been a key in this game today. Certainly the 3 extra points notable, perhaps maybe a field goal as this final quarter and a half goes on, but his punting He's done a really nice job. The Grove City special teams have been very strong the last several years, especially in punt coverage, which is that's an 11-man thing, not just the punter and everything, but the 10 coverage men as well too. And Lane doing a nice job, and the coverage unit forcing the fair catch inside the 10.
Resigno is the quarterback. Ethan Gallo, the tailback. 3 receivers. The loose ball is on the turf. A bobbled exchange between Resigno and Gallo. But Resigno able to fall on the football back near the 5-yard line.
There's another B word with bobble, Bladel, and not blocked. He came off the side. That was the strong side of the offensive formation. Had an H-back on the left side. Bladel just shot past him, hit the quarterback and running back at the mesh point, and very fortunate for Cortland that Resigno jumped on because Caleb Brubaker was closing fast. It's a loss on the play. It's Grove City defense already with 3 takeaways today, including a touchdown. Came very close to number 4.
Jaden Lunt, the right guard, checking out for the Red Dragons. Resigno standing on his own goal line, rolling to the wide side, feeling some pressure, fires downfield, and they call that a good catch?
I think Cotton was able to make the catch. He and LaPierre were standing, they were as close to each other as we are here in the booth. But the catch made, or let's see. No, they ruled incomplete. Okay. Yeah, there was a lot going on there. You had 2 receivers. They were within arm's length of each other. Resigno was under pressure in the end zone, rolling off, had to get rid of it. So now 3rd and long. For Cortland at this point, you're thinking, let's just get a few yards so your punter doesn't have his heels on the end line. It's maybe a case where you go with a draw, perhaps. They're going to send in a couple of tight ends for the first time today. We see Dylan Keeley, Logan Went, Logan Went, both couple 240-pounders. This may be a case, let's try to see if Gallo can pop something.
Single receivers to each side. Wing to the right side. Resigno to throw it from his own end zone. Has time, fires across the middle. And that is a sliding catch that is good for a first down to about the 28-yard line.
Nice job by Resigno. Stood in there instead of using the tight ends in the run game. They used them for maximum protection. And Cotton on the deep in, able to make the sliding grab. Huge 3rd down conversion, pickup of 24 for Cortland. It's been a struggle on 3rd down today for the Red Dragons, but a big pitch and catch there to get a new set of downs and get out of the shadow of the goalpost.
Now 2 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. Resigno takes the high snap. The lefty drops to throw, looks downfield. Receiver made the catch and got out of bounds. That's Ziva again with the reception.
And that 3rd down may be a play that you look back and say that was a key play in this game. And now you see all of a sudden Resigno, that throw there, it just his confidence, because the Wolverines have been getting after him. He threw the pick 6, but now he's bounced back here. A couple of big throws, back-to-back first downs.
2 receivers to each side of the formation. Single back in the backfield with Mike Resigno. Looking to throw. Fires that way. That one short hops the intended target, Sam Cotton, and incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10.
Wolverines bringing the extra rusher again. You have your down 3, and then Bladel generally is the 4th rusher, but that time Caleb Brubaker blitzing up the middle between center guard. They call it the A gap. And Resigno drifting to his left. He's a lefty. It's natural for him. Jordan Karcheski, who in this case was the right end, got that 6'4", got that hand up there. Didn't touch the pass, but he certainly affected the throwing lane for Resigno.
2 to the right, 1 to the left. Man goes in motion. Resigno to throw. Quick pass over the middle. That is going to be caught. First down into Grove City territory and down to the 41-yard line.
Joe Idaveo, who we talked about his, all the lauding he'd received at preseason All-American, and making a nice grab there. Cortland into Grove City territory.
So they pick up 19. Now go with twins to each side of the formation. Running back Gallo to the right of Resigno, who again drops to throw, feeling some pressure. Rolling to the right side. Going to take a shot. Now he'll just throw this one away, as the receiver had blanket coverage on him. And that pass will fall incomplete to the bench.
Yeah, LaPierre, the intended receiver, closest man to it. Jolly, who dropped back in zone coverage underneath, then applying some pressure, running upfield and second down. But Cortland does more or less abandon the run here. But obviously they found something thinking, hey, we like our guys out in the open against the Grove City secondary, a very experienced and talented secondary, trying to win out there as opposed to winning between the tackles.
2 to the right, 1 to the left side. Gallows the tailback with Mike Resigno. Lefty drops, going to take a shot downfield, looking for his receiver, and that drifts out of bounds and incomplete. Now, you mentioned it coming in. Gallo, 1,100-plus yard rusher last year, only 7 carries for 9 yards so far today.
And now on 3rd and 10, likely going to the air again. It's worked for Cortland. They had the ball back at the 9 to convert the 3rd and long with that 24-yard completion to get out towards the 30. But they've become more or less one-dimensional here in the second half.
2 receivers to the right, 2 to the left side for Resigno. Wolverines showing pressure. They will bring pressure. He'll roll to his left, looking downfield, and he's going to be dropped in just inside the 40, near the 37-yard line, and it'll bring up 4th down and a decision to be made.
Nick Clemens tracked him down from the backside. The pass rush specialist coming in on the obvious 3rd down pass situation. Resigno scrambling, but gets a few, and the offense will stay out there. It is a no-man's land for Cortland. 4th down and 6 to 37, out of field goal range, too close to punt. So 4th down.
Head coach Tom Blumenauer going to keep the offense on the field. Twins to each side. Resigno to throw. Looks downfield, and that pass intercepted by the Grove City secondary again, jumping the route and took the football away.
Ryan Montgomery, that's number 2. Montgomery on 4th down, undercut the route, and the Wolverines get takeaway number 4 with 2:35 to go, 3rd quarter.
So another interception by this secondary now gives the ball back to this Grove City offense. And a pair for Wheeler and a pair for Montgomery this afternoon for the Grove City defense. Sutton Ellis and the Wolverines taking over at their 32-yard line. Going to empty the backfield for the first time, as Ellis will be alone on 1st down. Quarterback draw, crossed the 35 to the 40. Ellis took a big hit when he got to the 41-yard line, but he'll pick up about 8 yards and a flag back at the 31.
Did the Wolverines not line up properly?
Waiting for the indication from our referee this afternoon.
And it's going to be on the Wolverines. They're moving back. Guessing 5 men in the backfield.
Respotting the football.
Illegal formation on the offense. 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. Still 1st down.
So when you start incorporating some different personnel, different packages, occasionally somebody doesn't get up on the line that's supposed to be there, and you don't have the requisite 7 men on the line of scrimmage, and Wolverines, instead of 2nd and 3, have 1st and 15.
4th penalty of the afternoon for 18 yards on the Wolverines. Single receiver right, trips to the left. Ellis going to run with the football. This time it got twisted down at the 27-yard line.
That didn't look good. He's up and he's okay apparently, but like you said, that did. He was twisted down, and just the guy reaching for him and went down awkwardly, but he pops back up. It would be young and spry, but now 2nd down and long.
So they will substitute liberally in the secondary for the Red Dragons here on this 2nd down and long for Grove City. It is Shepard Miller now in there at the tailback spot with 2 receivers to the right and 1 to the left. Ellis takes the snap, looks to throw, fires downfield. A great enhanced catch by Breck Peacock. Ryan, he just reached out and took that football out of the air.
He caught the back half of the ball. There was the only place he could really make the catch. Snagged it, pulls it in, and now 3rd down out of the 36. The Wolverines get about half the yardage they needed.
Could see something brewing between Ellis and Peacock in this game, as that is his 6th reception on the day.
6 catches, 84 yards, of course, has a touchdown. But now 3rd down and a long 6 for the Wolverines.
Single receiver to the right, now trips to the left. We see Sam Penna checking, slot to that left side. Ellis dropping to throw. Pressure. Now going to take a shot downfield. Had a man break open, but overshoots the intended receiver in Sullivan, and the incompletion brings up 4th down.
Sullivan had started to take a couple of steps back upfield towards his quarterback when Ellis let it go, and by the time he was able to change direction, it was over his head. And 4th down, and the punt team back out. Be the 5th punt of the afternoon for the Wolverines. Grove City now 3 of 9 on 3rd down.
Grove City averaging about 36 yards per punt so far today. Snap right back to him. Gets away a high spiraling kick that he catches at the 26-yard line. Now breaks free across the 30, 35, 40, 45, cross midfield and out of bounds. And the Red Dragons will take over at the Grove City 47-yard line.
That time, that punt in the middle of the field gave Doss a chance to get to the outside. A couple of Wolverines had a shot at him, couldn't get him to the turf. And instead of this drive starting back around the 30, it'll start on the Grove City side of midfield at the 47-yard line. Good run back from Doss, and a bit of a breakdown on the Grove City special teams. A lot of times you hear a special teams breakdown, you're thinking of a return going all the way or a blocked kick. Wasn't there, but a couple of missed tackles, a punt that was in the middle of the field, and you add those and a very talented returner, you end up with a run back of 21 yards.
2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right side, wing to the right for Mike Resigno. Play fake. Tries to swing it out into the flat. Receiver makes the catch right near the 1st down marker. That's Jason Ziva, the junior, on the reception.
Working man for man against Bowden Davidson on the out pattern, and not the most favorable of spots for Cortland. He's going to be a yard short, bringing up 2nd and 1.
Single receivers to each side. Gallo, the tailback, with Resigno. Wing to the right side. Fake it to Gallo. Resigno is going to throw. That pass is going to be caught over the middle at the 27-yard line for a Red Dragon 1st down.
LaPrairie making the catch, the shoestring grab, and 1st down at the 27, as that's the end of the 3rd quarter. A 3rd quarter, the only scoring courtesy of the Grove City defense. Cortland on the move, however, as we make the turn for the 4th.
After 3, it is Grove City 21, Cortland 14. You're listening to the Wolverine Sports Network.
Valvoline Express, Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. Check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express, Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Getting set to begin the 4th quarter here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Mark Means, Ryan Briggs with you. 21-14, Grove City with the 7-point lead. Resigno, 2 receivers to the right, puts a tight end in motion. It will give it to a receiver on the end around with blockers. Flag on the play. Loose ball on the turf, and Montgomery falls on the football right near the 19-yard line.
A lot to sort out here. Looks like, I think, a hold on the near side. Do we have a fumble recovery? I did not see a beanbag out there. Was cotton down.
And Montgomery fell on the football, made sure to kind of tuck up to make sure he had the ball and was in bounds.
So there's a lot to unpack here. There was no no official pointed that it was Grove City football. Again, there was no beanbag thrown by any of the officials on the near sideline. So I'm guessing either he was down or had stepped out. But let's see. Well, I don't know. Cortland offense is coming out. The Wolverine defense is heading out. Let's see. Wait for our official to tell us what's up.
The result of the play was a fumble by Cortland, recovered by Grove City. Holding on the offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. It is first down, Grove City.
5 turnovers forced by this Grove City defense. That is the third by Ryan Montgomery alone.
The hat trick, 2 interceptions, and now a fumble recovery at the 19-yard line. So that promising drive by Cortland fizzles, and the Wolverine defense will take over, or Wolverine offense takes over 1st and 10, 8 seconds into the fourth quarter.
Ellis working out of the pistol will hand it off to Ian Demiri on first down. And Demiri runs into a pile of defenders from the Red Dragons for no gain. It's 2nd down and 10.
The Cortland defense selling out the run blitz that time.
Matt Lauder on the stop, 19-yard line. No gain, 2nd down and 10.
It was actually, when I said it was caught on that run, the fumble was Idaveo. And they haven't credited a fumbled forced, and I'm not sure that anybody necessarily. I didn't see anybody knock it loose either. But either way, Ryan Montgomery recovered it, and that's what's paramount at this point.
2nd down and 10. Ellis with play action. Time now being pressured in the pocket, and he'll be sacked inside the 10-yard line. Long developing play, was trying to take a shot downfield that just wasn't there.
He had McGroarty open underneath, but he was looking for the big play. And instead, it's a big play by the Cortland defense. The sack back to the 8, and now 3rd down and 21 for Grove City.
So 3rd down and long. Backed up in the shadow of their own end zone.
Again, now you're just thinking, get some yardage and punt. You'd love to get the first down, but 3rd and 21, backed up in your own end with a 7-point lead, 13:30 to go.
They were going to run the ball. And there was no running room that time for the ball carrier, Chase Rankin, and it brings up 4th down.
Aiden Lochner, starting middle linebacker on a run blitz. He read that well, and he came close to taking the handoff. So obviously a missed assignment up front, and now that loss on the play, Brady Lane will be punting with his heels just past the end line. Cortland should come out of this with excellent field position. The return man, Doss, who had a 21-yard run back last time, he's on the Grove City side of midfield.
Snap back to Lane. They protect him well. He gets away the kick that drifts and takes a Grove City roll inside the 40. Picked up at the 36-yard line. Trying to get to the outside, and he's pulled down from behind. That roll was very, very effective, and then the special teams pursuit downfield to make the tackle.
59-yard punt and a net of 63. Jack Jolly, what a job, what hustle. So you say, well, what's toughness, what's hustle? That is it right there. Here's a guy that's a 2-year team captain, starting middle linebacker, out there on the punt team, chasing down an excellent return man to bring him down, keep him from turning the corner. He loses 4 on the run back. Cortland now beginning at the 32-yard line. Brady Lane, 59 yards on the punt. An excellent kick distance-wise, angled it away, got the big roll. Cortland not poor field position, but I'm sure the Red Dragons are thinking, hey, we're going to have the ball at least at midfield. Instead, it's back at the 33-yard line. So a net of 62.
The signal with 2 to the right and 1 to the left. Gallo is the tailback. Versigno is going to keep it, and he'll dive across the 35-yard line. They'll say knee down at the 35, just gains a couple. It's 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, the zone read with the Gallo, they're faking. They're pulling the backside guard and tackle. A lot of times teams maybe call it tackle wrap or whatever, and then Versigno coming around. With the pulling lineman, they're trying to get the linebackers to flow that way, and then there's nobody on the backside, but Jack Jolly staying home using his great lateral quickness.
2nd and 8, 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left side. Versigno back to throw. Timing pass downfield, ball intercepted again by the Wolverines secondary. A floating pass, and Mason Klaus there to take that football away.
Klaus, the free safety. Can we call him Free Mason? I don't know, but rotating over in the interception. The Grove City defense coming up away. A 6-pack of turnovers. Mason Klaus making his first start. Red Bank Valley grad, played for Grove City College grad Blaine Gold down in New Bethlehem, or as locals call it, New Bethlehem, down in Clarion County. Mason Klaus coming up with the interception, and the Wolverines have it at the 39, 11:52 to go. But, boy, you'd love to see the Wolverines get a few first downs. The Cortland defense has really played well. The Cortland defense has kept the Red Dragons in this game.
1st and 10 for the Wolverines from their 39-yard line. Ian Demary is the tailback with Sutton Ellis. Both fullbacks in there. Going to lead the way. Demary stood up at the line, able to fall forward for 2. And it brings up a 2nd down and 8.
The Cortland front is really doing a nice job of not allowing the Grove City linemen to get to that second level, keeping the linebackers clean. You look up there, Gavin Gewers, 265-pound defensive lineman up there. A couple of the other guys, Owen Rush, 275 out of Fredonia, New York. He's the other end of I-90. They're doing a really good job and, really keeping this Grove City ground game from getting on track.
Ellis going to give the ball to the freshman tailback, Shepard Miller. And Miller across the 45 to the 46-yard line before being pushed back, setting up a 3rd down and just about 3 to go.
Grove City 35 carries, 87 yards unofficially right now. 3rd and 3. Wolverines are 3 of 10 on 3rd down today, but in the second half, 0 for 4.
Twins to each side of the formation. Rankin is the tailback. Ellis looking to the sidelines as the cards go up. Play clock now approaching 10 seconds. Ellis turns back to the line of scrimmage. Takes the snap with 3. Looks, fires downfield, pass caught across the 50, and good enough for a Grove City 1st down. Seth McGroarty snagged that football for his 2nd catch of the day.
How many times we see Scott Frazier do that? Get there, and I know Chris Birch, who's listening, he loves that post up, get those hands up, use those wide shoulders, did it perfectly, boxed out the defender. Sutton Ellis threw it right where his guy could make the catch. And Seth McGroarty gets Grove City's first 3rd down conversion of the second half. A huge play, ball at midfield for the Wolverines now with 9:50 to go, 4th quarter, leading by 7.
McGroarty now that big receiver for Grove City at 6'1". Ellis takes the snap, gives the ball to Ian Demary. 2 hands on the football as he'll get back to the line of scrimmage. Now we've got a flag, couple of flags come in at the end of the play.
Royman 7 total accepted penalties in the game. 4 for 18 yards on the Grove City side, 3 for 38 for Cortland, but this one could be very significant. Is it going to be 2nd and long or 1st and 10? Or offsetting?
And there was just a little extra pushing at the end of the play.
I mean, it's been a very physical game, but nothing that's been that has been
Unsportsmanlike conduct, defense, number 18. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run and an automatic touchdown.
That is a big call on senior linebacker Matt Lauder.
That's that is huge. Gives Grove City 1st down, new set of downs. Now the ball at the 35. The other thing you start to think about, too, at nothing else, you're getting close to field goal range. You get 3 more on the board, make it a 2-score game. And that's but now instead of being 2nd and 10 at midfield, 1st and 10 at the Cortland 35.
9:34 clock rolling, 21-14 Grove City with the lead and the football. Shepard Miller, the tailback. Single receiver to the left, 2 to the right side. Miller's going to get the carry, trying to bounce to the edge, broke a tackle, and spun off another tackle and got down just shy of the 30-yard line.
Good effort down there by the fullback, Anthony Brunette. Blocked the guy, got another guy, helped Miller pick up an extra yard, and Wolverines bouncing it to the outside. Normally, the running backs want to say, keep it inside. That was a case where he had to bounce it. A lot of times young running backs, they want to bounce it no matter what. That time Miller had to, and able to get 4.
Wolverines right back to the line. 2 to the left, 1 to the right. Miller remains the tailback. Anthony Burnett, the senior fullback. Play clock down to 7 seconds. Ellis takes the snap, looks to throw, fires, and that ball knocked away and incomplete.
Joe Galea, the junior linebacker, he is going to be in bed tonight thinking about that because it went through his hands and he had 70 yards of green turf in front of him.
As Sullivan had absolutely turned around the defensive back for the Red Dragons.
And a break there for the Wolverines, certainly.
So 3rd down. Trips to the left, single receiver to the right side. We go under 8.5 minutes to play here in the 4th quarter. Ellis to throw. Time. Lofts one. Downfield. Pass caught. Breck Peacock. 1st down inside the 20-yard line. His 7th grab to put him over 100 yards to go with the touchdown.
12-yard pickup there. What a throw. What a catch. The defensive back, when Cortland watches the film tonight or tomorrow, the defensive back, he's not going to get dinged for that. That was excellent coverage. Just what a catch. Breck Peacock, welcome to the football program. He played at Wheaton University last year, Wheaton College out in the Chicago area. Well, caught 20-plus passes there. And, the Wolverines are glad to have him. And 1st and 10 now at the 19.
Ian DeMary gets the carry. Ian DeMary lowers the shoulder, runs over a man inside the 10 and down near the 8-yard line.
And you have to think that 3rd down conversion, just the momentum, and now Cortland back on its heels a bit, and then DeMary, bam. Ian DeMary runs with all the finesse of a punch to the gut. This game has been played with the finesse of a punch to the gut. It's been a very physical game. There are going to be a lot of guys in the ice tubs tonight and tomorrow and Monday. But Ian DeMary blasting, that's his long run of the day, and it puts the Wolverines in 1st and goal. Clock down to 7:07. Chance to make it a 2-score game.
DeMary remains the tailback, about 2 yards behind Sutton Ellis. He'll get it this time, and it'll be dropped back at the 10-yard line. One of the linebackers came free and made the play in the backfield.
Loss on the play back to the 10-yard line.
So DeMary going to come out. Shepard Miller going to check in.
Play clock at 15. I think the Wolverines would not be in any particular hurry here.
2 receivers right, 1 to the left side. Miller the tailback. Ellis takes the snap, gives it to Miller. 2 hands on the football. And Miller drives down to about the 7-yard line.
Will Ligershevsky, 280-pound defensive lineman, came through and blasted and put a shoulder right in his chest. But as you said, Miller, both hands on the football. Now 3rd down and goal at the 8. I would expect a very conservative play call here. Nothing else, maybe give it to Rankin. Just get the ball in the middle of the field. If nothing else, set up the field goal. You'd love the touchdown because a touchdown's a sure thing. A field goal is not.
Trips to the right. Single receiver left. Rankin is the tailback to the right of Sutton Ellis. And now we've got whistles, and we've got a Grove City timeout. Timeout on the field. 5:35 to play in this one. Grove City 21, Cortland 14 on the Wolverine Sports Network.
My name is Jim. I'm a veteran, and I lost both legs in Vietnam. My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
I'm Julius. I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission, helping veterans of all generations get the benefits they've earned.
I'm Cece. My victory was finishing my education.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Grove City burning the timeout. They are left with 2. As we're now under 6 minutes at 5:35 to play here in the fourth quarter. Wolverines with a touchdown lead and the football inside the Red Dragon 10-yard line.
This will be the 11th play of the drive. Of course, Wolverines taking over after the Mason Klaus interception.
Trips to the right. Single receiver to the left side. Rankins the tailback with Sutton Ellis. Ellis looking. Ellis going to be sacked back at the 16-yard line. Pressure came up the middle, and Ellis went down, but did a good job to wrap up the football and hold on.
Now the field goal becomes a 33-yarder. You're still in the middle of the field, but it's 7 yards further back.
So Ellis will put his knee down at the 33. Slightly to the left side.
There's 1 or 2. He's been out there. You always think about it. Is a hand banged up, things of that sort.
Lambert to snap. Ellis to hold for Brady Lane. And
delay.
Got a flag as the play clock went down to 0.
Delay a game on the offense. Number 17, 5-yard penalty.
And that's one of those ones that you really. So now between the sack and a penalty, instead of a 25-yarder, you're going to have a 37, 38-yard attempt. And Brady Lane's first collegiate field goal attempt.
We'll see where Ellis puts the knee down. Make it a 38-yard attempt. Again, Lambert to snap. Ellis to hold for freshman Brady Lane. Snap and hold are good. Lane puts the ball in the air and puts it through the uprights. A huge 3 points for the Grove City special teams. And Brady Lane connects on his first field goal attempt as a Grove City College Wolverine.
Up 10 with 4:44 to go. Still work to do, but man, that is massive. Make it a 2-score game, Brady Lane. He says, okay, it's a little further back up, so I can just show off the leg a little bit more. Good snap from Lambert. Sutton Ellis, mind you, Sutton Ellis has been out there for 60-some-odd plays today. He's delivered some shots. He's taken some shots, but he's the holder. And you always worry about, he's got a hand jammed up or whatever, but snatched it, put it down, flawless.
And
fresh as a daisy.
He showed the same thing earlier with the penalty where they had to back it up 5 yards, and he kicked it 10 yards further. So he's shown you that ability that those things don't seem to really get to him at all.
Shown a lot of mettle for a guy playing his first college football game.
Now he will handle the kickoff duties for the Wolverines. Up 10 with 4:44 to play here in the fourth quarter in week 1.
But still work to do. Dangerous return men. You've got, of course, a fleet of excellent wide receivers on the Cortland side. Objective 1 here, good kick coverage.
Doss and Taylor are the returners at the 5-yard line. Lane puts his foot into this one, and he called for a fair catch inside the 1-yard line.
They will get it. That's the equivalent of a touchback in college football. So that's one of those rules that, because you don't see it very often.
Right.
But they'll take it at the 25. If you're Grove City, you'll take that. All right, Cortland's going to have to go 75 yards. No threat of the return. Cortland's probably looking at it in terms of balancing time versus yardage. And I think that was a predetermined decision that would be taking the fair catch would be made.
Mike Resigno, sophomore, first start for Cortland, 10 of 24, 162 yards. He has thrown 5 interceptions and been sacked twice. Resigno, 1 receiver to the right and 2 to the left. Ethan Gallo is the tailback. Resigno going to roll to the wide side. Throws on the run, and that short hops his receiver incomplete, looking for Jason Ziva. It's 2nd down and 10.
Resigno now 10 of 25, 162 yards, but has been intercepted 5 times today by the Wolverines.
So 2nd and 10 from the 25-yard line. 24-14 Wolverines with the 10-point lead. 1 receiver right, trips to the left. Linebackers creeping up, showing some pressure. Resigno back to throw. Fires quickly, and the pass is caught for a 5-yard gain. Receiver's knee was down as he made the catch. It's 5 yards for Ziva.
Yeah, for Grove City, hey, give him that. Clock keeps moving. It's going to take a lot of 5-yard plays to get to the end zone. Update from Washington, PA, and a stunner. Utica putting it to W&J 42-17 third quarter. So Utica, an Empire 8 team from up this way, making a statement.
Wolverines showing blitz. They pick it up, fire downfield, and the pass thrown to a spot where no one was. Bowden Davidson, the closest player, brings up a 4th down and 5.
Caleb Brubaker coming through on the blitz that time. The extra rusher got a hand in the face of Resigno. 4th down, and the offense will stay out there.
So 4th and 5 for Resigno and the Red Dragons.
A stop by the Wolverines doesn't clinch it, but puts the Wolverines certainly in really good shape. Cortland still has all of its timeouts left.
Twins the each side for Mike Resigno. Takes the snap, drops, hold everything, flags on the play, and I think we're going to get a procedure penalty on the Red Dragons.
Yeah, but it looked like the left guard moved, and a couple of the Grove City defenders pointed at him, and then the line judge threw the flag out. He just couldn't get it out of his waistband.
Ball starts. Fence number 7. Penalty. Still 4th down.
But now 4th and 10 back at the 25, and offense stays out there. Cower checks out, and Clemens back in as an extra rusher.
Trips, go to the right side, single receiver to the left. Wolverines walk an extra linebacker up, put the hand on the ground. Resigno to throw. Rolling to the outside, looking downfield, that pass out of bounds, incomplete. And the Wolverines are going to take over the football on downs with 3 minutes and 55 seconds to play and a 10-point lead.
Resigno rolling left. Of course, rolling left, he kind of limits his available palette of receivers. And, the pass, the receiver really never had a chance. That the pass, throw it kind of like a screwball just sliding out of bounds. And good coverage by Danino on the near side. But regardless, the Wolverine defense, good job. But Resigno, that rollout, just limited his options.
So Grove City takes over the football on the Cortland 25-yard line. Going to bring out both fullbacks, Hoddle and Brunette, lined up to the left. Ian DeMary is the tailback. Going to give the ball to DeMary, running right up the middle, ball wrapped up. And DeMary down to about the 22-yard line, running straight ahead.
Sure, Cortland kind of evaluating when to start taking the timeouts. Probably not quite yet, but maybe maybe after a 3rd down. But Grove City content to pick up 3 yards and burn up 40-plus seconds of clock. And the Wolverines will do the shift. have the tackle over, the guard over. It's Gabe Hilty. Remember, we saw Vinny Laprie do that for years. So he's that end man. Now Gabe Hilty was essentially, it's a tight end position. Third guy to the left of the center.
Demiri's going to get the football again. Found a little gap to squeeze through, and then got a little push from his friends down to the 15-yard line. And that should move the chains. It will for a Grove City first down.
See Hildy down there. Jed Feldmeyer, the guard from Troy, making his first start. Troy up in Northeast PA. He's probably no doubt has some friends and family here. And then Dustin Hoddle. What a job he's done. He's been on offense for about 2 weeks. Being that second fullback, he was clearing guys out of the way. It's first down and 10 at the 15.
So they will fake the shift, and we get the fullback low 5 for the first time this season. Demiri remains the tailback. Play clock to 3 seconds. Snap it with 2. Demiri gets it again, finds another little gap to squeeze through. And now we've got a timeout on the field called by Cortland. 2 minutes, 18 seconds to play in the game. 24-14 Grove City on the Wolverine Sports Network.
My name is Bobby. I'm a veteran and lost my leg to a roadside bomb. My victory was going from a wheelchair to becoming a weightlifting champion.
I'm Sam. I'm a veteran. My victory was finding a career I can be proud of and supporting my family.
America's veterans are on their most important tour, the tour of their lives.
I'm a veteran. My victory was going from homeless to home.
At DAV, we're on a mission to help veterans get the benefits they've earned.
I'm a veteran, and my victory was finishing my education.
DAV offers veterans of all generations a lifetime of support for victories great and small.
My victory was proving that disability is not a limitation.
My victory was getting my service dog a new best friend.
We help more than 1 million veterans every year as they face and conquer their challenges.
My victory is being able to be there for my family.
When America's veterans win, we all win. Help us support more victories for veterans. Go to DAV.org.
Off the Cortland timeout, we get back to action. It is going to be second down and 8 for the Wolverines. Ian Demiri is the tailback. Demiri's going to get the handoff, spin off of a tackle, work his way down to the 10-yard line. Going to set up third down for Grove City. And Cortland going to use another timeout.
And we can keep it here and give us a chance to update the PAC scoreboard. And kind of a mixed bag, maybe even more down than up for the President's Athletic Conference today. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Let's start with the good news.
All right, the good news. Case Western leading at the half at Rowan, 14-7. Second quarter early on, Allegheny and Denison are tied at 6. Denison, one of the favorites in the North Coast Athletic Conference. St. Vincent leads Hilbert 14-7 at the half. And now, the other side of the coin. It's gone final. Sewanee, big second half. The University of the South beats Bethany 41-6. Utica leading W&J 42-23. I believe that's the end of third. Widener all over Geneva 41-12. That game may still be, I don't know if they've reached halftime yet there. The stats might not be displaying properly. And Waynesburg University losing to John Carroll 38-0 in the third. And that Widener game, 41-12, they're still in the first half.
Oof. Off the timeout, it is third down coming up for the Wolverines.
Widener, by the way, the alma mater of Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Oh.
Kick returner extraordinaire of our youth.
Give the ball to Ian Demiri. Demiri inside the 10 to about the 8-yard line. Going to bring up fourth down for Grove City.
And that will take us to the 2-minute timeout. So with the ball at the 8, and Grove City needing 3 yards, I think the offense is going to stay out there. Because field goal, it's still a 2-score game either way, but a lot can go bad. Bad snap, blocked kick, things of that sort. If you miss the kick, they're going to get it to 20 at minimum. Even if you make the field goal, you still have to kick off to them. Get the first down, you knee it out. If you don't get it, they have to go 90 yards. But we'll see what Coach DiDonato elects to do here as we've reached the 2-minute timeout. want to remind everybody that Wolverines will be home next week for Mount Union. First meeting since 1979. Mount Union, of course, the defending national runner-up. And that great program that they have there, really the gold standard in Division III football for the better part of 4 decades now. Of course, when longtime head coach Larry Karras, we got a chance to talk with Coach Karras at the baseball regional back in May. But now head coach Jeff Dart, he and his squad will be coming to town next week. Mount Union leading Wheaton today 27-7 at halftime.
They will shuffle the offensive line on 4th down. Both fullbacks in there. Ellis going to go under center. Sends Brunette in motion. Gives the ball to Demiri. Demiri spinning off tacklers, driving the pile to the 5-yard line.
Second, third effort. He gets the first down, and that's going to slam the door on Cortland. Ian Demiri, he was hit at the line of scrimmage. You can see from where the lacrosse line, or that's the soccer line at the 8, that's where the line of scrimmage was. He was hit there, kept fighting, got help from Brunette and Hoddle, kept pushing, kept fighting, and we're a minute 40 away from saying it's a Wolverine winner, Mr. Means.
You mentioned that Mount Union lead. Wheaton's nationally ranked as well, I believe. Aren't they like 17?
They could be. I know they certainly have been receiving goods. They were 9-2 last year, was the Thunder.
Ellis under center. Both fullbacks and Demiri. Burnett will go in motion. They will give the ball to Demiri. Demiri's going to score to cap this one off with a little more than a minute to play in the 4th quarter.
Demiri crashing over the left side, and the Wolverines put an exclamation point on a big road victory today here in upstate New York.
So Ian Demiri finding the end zone again. And now Brady Lane will come on and attempt the extra point. Lambert to snap it. Ellis to hold for freshman Brady Lane. Snap and hold are good. The extra point by Lane is also good. And with 80 seconds to go here in the 4th quarter, it is a 31-14 lead for Grove City here on the road against number 10 Cortland.
The ground game, the numbers are not going to be eye-popping. 119 yards on 48 carries today, so an average of 2.5. But you think of the physical toll. Grove City, big edge in time of possession in the first half, big edge in the 4th quarter also. 70 plays for Grove City today, 48 running plays. So 48 of the 70. Possession now 36-38 to 22-02. That drive there, but this 4th quarter has been a result of Grove City, the first half, the physical punishment, that big offensive line, the physical running backs, physical quarterback, and just the accumulation. It's like a boxing match. You don't go swinging for the knockout in the first round. The body blows, you soften them up, and the Wolverines now, here in the later rounds, if you will, up 31-14.
Fair catch called for at the 1 once again on the kickoff by Brady Lane. And what would you call a complete effort in all phases of the game today?
Certainly. I mean, there will be a lot to address, no doubt. But the other thing, too, Cortland is really, really good. This is a really good team, Cortland. Yeah, again, some new guys, new coaching staff and so forth, but Cortland's going to put a lot of W's in the win column this year. Wouldn't surprise me to see them practicing on Thanksgiving again this year. This is a really good team, really good program. But, certainly will be some things for Grove City to address. But, a lot to like as well. 6 takeaways today.
Trips to the right. Play clock now down under 10 seconds. That's Craig Galika, the other quarterback on the 2 deep in there. That pass is thrown away and incomplete. It's 2nd down and 10 for Galea.
He was the at the beginning of the week, he was the guy on the top line of the 2 deep, but it was between him and Rosigno. It was back and forth, and it ended up that they went that route here. Went with a sophomore to start, and he certainly did some good things. He ran for 62 yards, 2 touchdowns today. But as the game went on, the Grove City defense getting pressure on him, and ends up he's going to be 0-1 as a collegiate starter. But again, Cortland's going to take a lot out of this too. Red Dragons are a good football team.
Play clock down to 3 seconds. They snap it with 1. Galea to throw. Sets up the screen. Receiver makes the catch, and he's going to be tripped up behind the line. And a late flag comes in at the end of the play.
I don't know if there was a late hit or a block in the back at the end.
Had a player down for Cortland, but
it was thrown by the referee. Threw it from behind the play. Ziva made the catch, his 5th of the day, if it stands. But it's, normally when the referee throws a flag, it's holding on the tackle on a pass play. In that case, the pass had well been thrown. It was out on the perimeter, and it looks like, the way everybody's acting, it's going to be on the Wolverines. And they hit somebody late.
Personal foul, targeting, defense, number 98. Number 98 is disqualified. It's a 15-yard penalty and automatic first down.
So that's that is notable. Dave Cower called for targeting at the end of the play, so he is ejected. Now, there is a process in which it can be reviewed. They can send the film and review that. Otherwise, he would miss the first half next week if it is upheld or whatever. And they will, if they feel that it is something to appeal. Now, if it was targeting, well, that's the sanction that comes with it. Caleb Kuhl will check in at end now here with a minute to go.
Galea with 4 receivers in the formation, 1 to the right, looks to throw. Hit as he throws, airs that one out deep, but it sails over the head of his intended receiver and incomplete. Looking for his man downfield in LaPrade. Quarterbacks for Cortland combined 12 of 31 for 166 yards and 5 interceptions. Second down and 10. Wolverines showing pressure. They will bring pressure. They pick it up. Pass caught to the 45-yard line. That's Ziva with another grab. We knew there was a lot of experience in the back end, but a 5-interception afternoon for the secondary is one to be proud of.
And 3 of them from sophomores, 2 from Noah Wheeler, including the what turned out to be the winning score, that pick 6 early in the 3rd. Ryan Montgomery 2 picks, Mason Klaus with 1.
Galea throws, and Ziva again is going to make that catch into Grove City territory for a first down.
Across midfield. Yardage good enough for a Red Dragon first down.
Clock now rolling down the final 20 seconds of this one. Galea to throw. Time going to take the deep throw downfield, and that ball is underthrown and picked off again.
Dominic Danino, the 4th different DB with an interception today. 6th interception for the Grove City defense. 7th takeaway. A fitting end to this one. 7 turnovers forced by Grove City. Dominic Danino came on last year at cornerback. First opening day start for him. And he will help the Wolverines get on the Campbell bus charter and head back to Grove City with a big road win in the opener.
It has been impressive over the last couple of years. The coaches seeing something in a player and making position changes, and guys just taking right to it.
Yes, it's just being able to eye talent and identifying what a guy does well. And now a knee taken, and that'll do it.
So the Grove City College Wolverines go on the road to Cortland, and they defeat number 10 Cortland by a final score of 31-14. They forced 7 defensive turnovers, 6 interceptions, and a fumble recovery. And the Wolverines start 2025 off with a huge road win.
Wolverines, their first non-conference game in the regular season in 3 years, and boy, what a return to non-conference play today. Final today of 31-14 over the Cortland Red Dragons. See Sutton Ellis on the field there, the big fist pump. He played well. So many guys that made contributions in all 3 facets today. 31-14 the final.
So the Wolverines get a big win on the road, and they will absolutely enjoy this one. But it does not get any easier 1 week from today for the home opener against the Mount Union Purple Raiders. But this is one to enjoy. It's going to be a fun bus ride home.
It certainly will. It's going to be a long one, but it's going to be a fun one. You know what else is going to be fun? Our post-game wrap-up.
We will do that post-game wrap-up right after we take this break. Grove City wins it this afternoon, 31-14 on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Valvoline Express Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy. We'll check your oil, check your fluids, and get you clean. Fast, friendly service for cars, trucks, and SUVs. Wiper blades or filters, check your tire pressure. Locally owned, nationally known.
Ken Frenchak here from the Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Fall. Leaves are changing. Why not get a jump start on the season and get the oil changed in your vehicle? We have your grade of Valvoline oil regardless of your gas or diesel engine. We stock most air filters and windshield wiper blades. So don't forget, we offer 2 automatic car washes along with 2 self-serve bays. Stop by to have your car run and look great. You can go anywhere for an oil change, but you come to us for the experience.
Valvoline Express Karen Car Wash of Grove City. Drive in, drive out, it's that easy.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch-snuggling, ball-chasing, face-licking, tail-wagging, backyard-hanging, and, of course, companionship.
And what breed would you say Satchmo is?
I'd have to go with maybe a lavish terrier-hound chihuahua-looking kind of mix.
Tremendous dog.
I'd also like to point out Satchmo's coloring, a white, gray, brown, black brindle, simply marvelous.
You know, it's such a treat to watch a dog like this.
Now, let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive. And now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance, so common with this group.
And finally, the loving face lick.
It's great how he just gets in there and, well, licks.
Fantastic. But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund.
Time for the post-game show here on the Wolverine Sports Network. Mark Means, Ryan Briggs with you. Grove City, a huge Week 1 non-conference win, 31-14 over number 10 Cortland. Been a while since we've been able to say non-conference for Grove City, but they started it in fine fashion.
Yes, certainly. It's, of course, the last few years, Grove City and the PAC playing an all, 10 games, 10 conference games because of the number of teams. The way things shook out, everybody getting 2 non-conference games. The Wolverines, we heard a couple years ago that the agreement Grove City would play Cortland in Week 1, and that got a lot of chatter. And it's one of those things, we've been looking ahead to it. And of course, I know on the ride up, we're wondering. We talked during the week and last night and everything, just thinking, okay, what to expect? We really didn't know. We really didn't even know through the first half today. Both teams kind of feeling each other out. Second half, the Wolverine defense fabulous. Cortland defense really kept Cortland in it, but then the Wolverines in the fourth quarter, the effect of that first half, that physical ground attack, the big time of possession edge, over 13-minute edge in time of possession, the cumulative effect allows Grove City to get a 31-14 victory over Cortland. 7 turnovers forced by the defense. Noah Wheeler, the pick 6. What a huge play that was. Because remember, Grove City was up 14-7. Cortland scores before the half. Wheeler's first interception ended a scoring threat in the end zone. So it's 14-all at the half. Cortland getting the ball coming out second half. He jumps a route, takes it 36 yards for touchdown, 21-14. And then Montgomery with a couple of interceptions. Klaus an interception. Danino an interception late to finish it off. It was just a really an outstanding performance by the defense. A couple of sacks. Ethan Gallo got to the point where Cortland more or less abandoned the running game. Even, again, you look at the final score, 31-14, you're thinking, oh, well, they had to throw. Well, even it was a 7-point game, it was the only running was Resigno scrambling. Ended up 34 pass plays and 24 running plays with a couple sacks in there. So 36 pass plays, 22 running plays. But, Cortland, again, you have a first-time starting quarterback and kind of put the ball in his hands, and he did well early on, but the Wolverine defense able to adjust and ends up Wolverines get a big win today over a really, really good Cortland Red Dragon squad.
And you talked about it in the pregame show and with Coach in his show, experience in the secondary. And I think the thing that stands out to me is it was aggressive corner play by Danino and Wheeler. They were able to really time things up, jump routes, get interceptions, get deflections, and it was aggressive play in the secondary.
It certainly was. And to play the type of defense the Wolverines want to play in terms of coverage, you have to have strong, athletic guys. Well, okay, you look at Bowden Davidson in that kind of slot corner, if you will. Obviously, his lacrosse acumen, everything. Noah Wheeler, when he was recruited last year as a freshman coming in, they said he's probably the best athlete in the class. Dominic Danino moving from receiver to corner, a very good athlete. So you have these guys there, their athleticism, and then you combine that with a veteran like Ryan Montgomery in the secondary. Mason Klaus, he has a little bit of all those. He has some size. He can run. He had an interception today, so he really complements that. As the fifth cog back there, if you will. You have that linebacking core, of course, Brubaker, Jolly, and Ben Bladel. I think back to that play that Jolly made on the punt return when 21-14 Grove City flipped the field, Brady Lane 59-yard punt, and then Jolly tackled the returner Doss when he's trying to get outside, end up in a short loss on the run back. And then, hey, how about the front three? Karcheski, Taylor, Cower. Then we saw a little bit of Nick Clemens and Caleb Cool up front, too. All 11 men working in concerto. And the Wolverines, big win, coming on the road 1-0. On a weekend that's been a bit of a tough weekend for the President's Athletic Conference. With the Wolverines, two-time defending champs in the league, they are off to an impressive start today on the road.
Hey, absolutely, a big road win against number 10, and the memories from last time here a little bit erased after the performance today.
Yeah, of course, last year, 2 years ago in the playoffs, Cortland winning 25-24, and that was. We think back to that game, there were it led to a couple things, and in part led to today and next week and so forth, and next year because Cortland will come to Grove City, and Grove City will go to Mount Union next year. But the way things unfolded after that, you think about, we're close, Cortland's a really good team. Of course, Cortland goes on and wins a national title. And then you realize, boy, we were that close to beating the national champs. And then you start to think that a dream can become a reality, where you can adjust the vision of the program. We hear Coach DiDonato talk about vision a lot. The vision to compete for PAC and national championships. But to do that, you have to go and play against teams that are national caliber, such as Cortland, such as Mount Union. Last year in the playoffs, Johns Hopkins went to the semifinals. Okay, you have to compete against them and learn what it takes to compete and then to defeat a team like that. Today, the Wolverines were able to do that, and it's a big step for the Wolverines. Another brick, if we will, brick by brick. Be another important, another big test next week against an outstanding Mount Union team. But again, the Wolverines learned a lot about themselves today. They'll learn a lot more next week. Hey, they get an A on today. They get an A on the first test of the season.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wasn't perfect score, but you get the red pen out and you make a big A and you circle it. So 31-14 today. In a game that was closer than the final score indicates, by the way, too. People will look at that and they'll say, whatever. This was a tight game. In fact, Cortland outgained Grove City by a slim margin, 257-253. But the turnovers obviously a big part in it.
And when you go back, our 15 years together now, your tenure at the university, this is up there with road victories.
Certainly, we think about there have been some good road wins over the years. I think at Carnegie Mellon a handful of years ago. Of course, in 2023, the overtime win at Case Western Reserve that kind of put Grove City. That was when Grove City had that gauntlet of teams at the beginning of the year. So those two certainly coming to mind right out of the chute. The wild homecoming win at Westminster, the 41-39 game when they fumbled late. That one, but this one I think is in its own category. Not to rank them in a particular numerical order, but this one is different. Non-conference, again, nothing clinched today. The Wolverines, they're not okay. You're not printing up T-shirts or making plans for November or anything yet. But it's an important win over a great program on the road, especially with so many young guys making their first start or first big contributions, if you will. Again, it's in its own category, but it is a very special win, and I think really one that is one that can be built upon here in the coming weeks.
Absolutely. And another stiff challenge next week for the home opener.
Yes, the Mount Union Purple Raiders will come to town. 1 o'clock kickoff. Actually, 1:02 technically. There'll be regional television involved. But, of course, we'll also have the audio call. Mark Means and Chris Birch will be on the call. We'll be on air at or around 12:15 with the Andrew DiDonato Show, brought to you by Valvoline Express Care and Car Wash of Grove City. Glad to have them back on for a second year as well. Also, we're going to be adding an additional sponsor starting next week. Our friends John Gracer, Luke Michael with Gold Financial, Northwestern Mutual in Grove City. They'll be coming on board next week as well. They've been a big supporter of the athletic department for many years, but they're going to have an extra role involved with the Wolverine Sports Network as well. So that's very exciting. But the Mount Union coming to town next week. Then an open date on the 20th, and then PAC play the night game on the 27th. So September, we're cramming a lot into the next 3 weeks or so.
And thank you to our friends here at Cortland.
Absolutely. Fran Elia, the longtime sports information director here, he's one of the best you'll deal with. Always enjoy working with them. They do such a fabulous job here. Great facility. He and his staff. This was a silky smooth operation. We appreciate everything during the week. Of course, the first week of the season, there's always number changes and roster adjustments and so forth. All that. Fran is top notch. He is a real credit to State University of New York at Cortland and to our profession as sports information directors. And can't thank him and his great staff enough for everything leading up here. Also, thanks to Athletic Director Todd Gibson for his support of the Wolverine Sports Network. We appreciate everything he does. And thanks to our halftime guest, Frank Rossi, who is down on the field interviewing some Grove City players. He'll be posting those on social media, in the D3 huddle. Check those out. And check out their show every week. He and JB, they'll no doubt talk about our games, but they'll talk about everything throughout the country. It is really comprehensive, and they do such a fabulous job, and they are a real credit to Division III sports and Division III football. And there are so many, as I'll get a bit philosophical here, there's so many wonderful things about, for me, what I get to do. Obviously, getting to see, being part of an outstanding college that I attended and graduated from, or at least accumulated enough credits to be given. I said jokingly, but that, and have an athletic department, and now here with football specifically today. But also when you get to meet people like I mentioned, Fran Elia, Frank Rossi, James Baker, people like that. Just to be able to be connected with people like that is really cool, and I'm very thankful, and I'm also thankful the defense forced 7 turnovers today. And I'm thankful for you, Mark, as well, and we're going to have a fun ride home.
Well, we are definitely going to enjoy the ride home as one game into year 15 together with Grove City, many others on the high school side of things.
Yes, we've made a lot. This might end up being our longest road trip. Well, Cortland, we were here 2 years ago, too, so I guess this ties.
Was Maryland further?
I think this was a little bit further than Johns Hopkins. I don't know. Well, I have the atlas in the rental. You can.
We'll have time to figure it out.
Yes, we have some time. You can get your ruler and measure it out with the scale there. But Mark, great job. I know you and Chris will do a great job next week. So we'll be back together next month, literally Saturday night, October 4th at Geneva, because off home. So I'll be around, but I'll just be listening to you, and I'll be a row behind you in the Doc McMillan press box, the newly refurbished press box at Robert E. Thorne Field.
Looking forward to being back home next week. That is going to do it for us this afternoon. Grove City College goes on the road. The Wolverines knock off number 10 Cortland 31-14. You heard it all right here on the Wolverine Sports Network.
Thank you for tuning into the Wolverine Sports Network. We'll talk to you next time on the home of the Wolverines.